Hey, what's up everybody? Danny Lightning here. I'm with P.G.O. We're going to do a year-end review type of video today. So we'll talk about that kind of stuff for a little while, and then we'll probably get into some Q&A type of stuff. Maybe even talk a little bit about some different Titans and all kinds of good stuff. So, everybody say hello to P.G.O.
Hi guys, how's it going?
And I think at some point, War Machine's going to pop in like half an hour or something like that. Join the chat with us, which will be a lot of fun. Let's see. MTN Top Giver, what's up? Egg, the one, hello. Amphibious, what's up? War Machine, what's up? Tempest, how's it going? Wilbert, hello. Good to see you guys. Hunk, what's going on? Adrian, Kyle, Kuzan, I probably said that wrong, but hello. Good to see you guys. I actually got it on the live chat today, so I'll see all the messages coming in.
Oh, right, live chat.
I can
switch to that too. There we go.
I don't know why YouTube does that. It's crazy.
Well, when I do my streams, I always come in. I always use the control room, and the control room is live chat by default. But when you go in on actually like just like watching it on the page for the stream itself, it will generally default to top chat.
I'm actually on the control room right now, and mine starts me
really
off.
Your control room?
Yeah.
Your control room was top chat? That is strange.
Yep. It doesn't like me.
My control room is always live chat. At least I think it is. Last time I looked, it was live chat. I didn't have to switch it. Anyways.
Striker Fate, War Robots the player, hello. Tattooed Josh, Thomas, what's up guys? And I've been doing alright. Can't complain too much, Fate, thank you. Hopefully you guys are all having an amazing day. See, War Machine says please be patient for something. I'm not sure. So,
I don't know.
Omniverse.
Yeah, we have already started.
We've kind of started, right?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this new year ends up being good. I don't know what 2021 is going to be like, but hopefully nothing like 2020. That's all I can say.
Yeah, hopefully we get things under control before too much longer.
But 2021 has been a pretty 2020 has been a pretty interesting year in the world of War Robots. I mean, they've added some really powerful stuff to the game. More powerful.
Yeah, I mean like
we thought some of that old stuff back in the day was pretty powerful, but this stuff is just like loads better.
I mean, this time last year, we had just gotten Titans. We didn't have Nightingale, Ravana, or Cerberus yet. What was it? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the main thing. We had just gotten the Titans. We were just kind of getting a feel. I think they had kind of just done the update to how the Titans worked, given them more resistance and put in the mitigation. But like I remember when Titans first came out, right, last December, I was soloing Titans easily with my like Invader, and stuff like that. Like Fenrir's and Invaders were just taking Titans head on, no problem. And then they changed the way. Then they added all the mitigation and the resistance.
It's pretty crazy stuff. Christian Gaming, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. But yeah,
the operations were 60 days long. Was another thing.
You know, it's kind of nice in some ways that the operations are shorter, because that way you don't have to buy every one, but one that you like is more likely to come around in a shorter time. You don't have to wait 60 days for the next one to see if you like it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, I mean, you're still getting a pretty good value for the money, at least on the 20-day ones. Some of the 10-day ones have maybe been a little bit smaller. I'd have to actually break it down. But, like, you're still getting a good value for your money, but if you want to buy them all, the cost has gone way up from the $60 ones to now sometimes having 10-day ones.
That is true. It does. If you want to buy every one, yeah, it costs a lot more. That's no joke. I mean, Yeah, buy one every 10 days. That's what, $30 a month? Or like, wait, they're $15.
It would be $45 a month. Yeah. But they've never done that many 10-day ones in a row. But you're still looking at like if you have one 10-day one and one 20-day one in a month, that's still $30 in the month just for the operations.
Yeah, so I mean that can get pretty expensive. I know a lot of people are just kind of being picky and choosy on which ones they buy, which I don't really blame them. You know.
That's my thing. Like if I see like a special edition bot that I want, it's like, okay, I'm getting that operation. Or the drones. The drones kind of sold me on the operations a little bit as well. The tier 4 drones. But if it doesn't have those things, then I'm not gonna spend money on it, really.
I hear ya. Ghost, what's up, Mr. Tusk? How's it going? Warrot's the player. I saw you saying you got your Typhoon. That's awesome. Typhoon's a really cool robot. Yeah, I mean, they've added some pretty interesting things. One thing, though, I'm a little unsure about. Like, they're kind of cool, but what do you think about those balance units?
I haven't had a chance. I didn't really try them on the test server, and I don't have. I wasn't going to spend the money to buy one outright from the deals, but in theory, I definitely those look really powerful on the right kind of bot. I'm looking forward to getting some onto like my Fenrir or my Invader. Just something that can really, or my Blitz, just something that really just wants to get in there and fight. And the more it can dish out and the more it can take are both really relevant things to have. In fact, I have basically decided I'm not really going to be leveling a lot of my other modules until I can get my hands on a balance unit. I'm just going to kind of wait. Save that silver. Save that silver until I can get my hands on a balance unit.
I need to try the balance units on the Fenrir on my BR account one of these days. That might be kind of interesting to see how that works out, because he's got tank, plus he's got the firepower, so that might be pretty
Exactly.
sweet.
He's kind of like the bot that kind of pushes both of those elements as far as possible.
Yeah.
So being able to get the bonus, basically it's the thing I would say, like Fenrir is the bot that has the greatest trade value, right? Where basically you take its damage potential and multiply it by its defensive potential, and that's its trade value. So Fenrir kind of has the best of that, and balance unit is also the best of that. So it's just kind of the best of the best.
Yeah, I mean,
Fenrir with balance unit.
Get that plus the right drone chips. Drones are one thing that they're not quite what I was expecting. I think that drones are a lot more complicated, and a lot of the chips I don't really care for. That's one of those things they added here in 2021 that are not really something everybody liked, unfortunately.
No, there was a big backlash when drones first came up. I mean, at least in the vocal part of the community. Now, I mean, for me, it makes a big difference when they took away the power cell costs, because like having that continuous cost of running the drones like really just kind of just gave you another thing you had to worry about. And now that you can just put whatever chips you want, it's a little bit more relaxed. I mean, they're still complicated. At least with the complication comes a little bit more customization. Like one of the things about pilots is that, you know, they're until they did the rework, they were a really cheap way to buff your bots, but really every robot benefited pretty well from the same 3 skills. And you had a few variations, but for the most part it was just like, let's get the good skills and go on. It wasn't a whole lot of customization going on. The drones, I find, provide a lot more customization.
That is true. Fate Gaming, yeah, that's a cool setup. I would work on leveling the weapons up more. We already got a bunch of questions starting to pull in here.
Yeah, of course.
Too many hawks, War Robot the player. I don't like those things. But yeah, that's a good hanger though.
One of the interesting things that has kind of evolved throughout the years, like right at the beginning of the year, we had just the 3 Titans, and you had like a few people who spent a lot of money to get their Titans maxed out right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But most of the Titans you ran into were, you know, low level. But then as people had more and more opportunity to get platinum from their daily tasks and then from operations, like the kind of average level of Titans kind of just increased and increased as time went on, right? So like it became more and more likely that you were going to run into, like when you saw a given Titan, that it would be, above a certain level. And then, just a couple weeks ago is when I maxed out my Titan, just based on the operations, and I didn't even buy all of them, and the daily tasks. Now I didn't spend any platinum on buying my Titan, on buying any weapons for it, and I only bought 3 of the 4 modules because I got one of them from a chest.
Oh,
and
that's
I did get a
cool.
little bit of platinum from the creator program as well. So I kind of pushed without directly buying platinum to maximize my Titan as quickly as possible. So now we're in the world of like a Titan could be any level. Like even a free-to-play player could have a max or near max Titan now if they got lucky and planned things out.
Yeah, like if I wouldn't have got the Minos, I kind of wonder if my Arthur would have been maxed out by now or not. You know what I mean? I bet he would.
You'd be close at least. So that was like a very interesting progression to see throughout the year, like starting from like the baby Titans of January into like now we've got the max Titans and the Nodens and the Minos and the Titan shotguns and like stuff getting added.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to see things like anti-stealth for a Titan, you know what I mean? That was very surprising.
I don't know if surprising is how to describe it, but it's basically kind of settled as what I expected. Like, it's really good for what it does, but those Titans are giving up a big advantage because the modules that the alternatives are also really, really powerful, right? So as good as Quantum Sensor is, you have to give up a lot to slot that in.
That is true. I personally don't want to give up the damage or the hit points to get a little special ability here and there.
Both modules, and that's the other thing. I think when at the beginning of this year, Titans didn't even have modules. Those got released, I think, in. Actually, I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, but I think that was like January or February last year when the Titans actually got access to their module slots.
So let's see. What was
another step up?
What was the very first robot that got released this year?
It was the pack of Ravana, Cerberus, and Nightingale. All came out together, kind of.
Yeah, I think the Ravana came out first, right? If I remember correctly. Or did they all come out together?
I believe Ravana's and Nightingales were in the same event chests at the beginning.
Interesting.
Cerberus was actually in an operation.
So Nightingales had a really good run then. I mean, almost pretty much a year that thing's been having a heyday out there. Still one of the better robots in the game.
They've been relevant. They've been relevant for a very long time. I mean, when they got the legendary pilot, they got, I think, more relevant. And I mean, very few people were really excited about them when they first came out. So like, there wasn't like a big rush on them. But I mean, they've always been good.
Now, when I played those on the test server, I was just like, don't like it. Hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually.
I didn't like it on the test server. It felt like it made my damage go down a whole bunch when I tried running Nightingale on the test server.
But yeah, as soon as it got onto the live server, I was like, wait a second, this thing's actually a beast.
Yeah. I think it has to do with like kind of like the way they worked with burst weapons. And it just didn't really occur to me to run it with burst weapons on the test server.
Now,
and also burst weapons benefit more from being higher level, right? So when you're running them at level 8, they're not quite as impactful.
Now, Cerberus, man, that was one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen at first until I noticed a couple people out there that had these Cerberuses that were just performing like crazy. And then I got my Battle Rec account, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to max out this Cerberus. I'm just going to get all the crazy pilot skills for it. And I'll tell you what, you run 3 fortifiers on that thing. All the like pilot skills.
If you could run 3 fortifiers on it, that would be amazing.
Plus the pilot skills, holy moly!
You can't run 3 fortifiers on it. It only has 2 module slots, right?
Well, the 2 fortifiers.
That's the thing. I don't like because the Cerberus. A lot of the ideas for the Cerberus, it was a community bot, right? Like we voted on what we had it, and I really, really love the Cerberus's design, but they shot it in the foot by like only giving it 2 module slots. Like the fact that they basically decided like this was not going to be a top tier bot just out of the gates was kind of disappointing to me. And I'd love to really see what that bot could do with the extra module slot and all that stuff.
Well, it doesn't
we kind
really
of get to see that with Typhon. But
I don't know if you got to see the video I made where I fully built one though. It was a beast. I was amazed. It went from this like horrible, worthless robot to a monster. But yeah, I mean, those pilot skills. The thing is, the shield recharges so quick once you get the right stuff on it. It's hard to take it down because it's like the second it starts losing health, that shield's instantly like recharging. I've never seen a shield recharge so fast in my life.
Yeah, I mean, the Aegis shield is a great example of something that benefits a lot from scaling. Because unlike robots' durability, where you can only heal so much of it, and or none of it, but the Aegis just always comes back. So the more that you have, the more ammo your enemies waste taking it down, the less ammo they have to get at you, and then it starts regenerating, and then they have to deal with that again. And so the more you make them work in the beginning, the more of a disadvantage they are once they've taken your shield down. And also the better the shield, the more you're regenerating once it starts to regenerate. So the Aegis shield is a really good example of like where scaling is really, really important.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Ryan, thank you so much. The little robots running around right now are just pre-recorded though. That's not live gameplay. That's just something in the background while we chat with you guys, so you're not staring at a blank, boring screen or whatever. Is Nightingale a Scourge and Spark good? I actually like that a lot, so I would say yes, Fate Gaming.
Yeah, the nice thing about Scourge and Spark is that they scale right up down to right down to the minimum distance, rather than like maximizing at a certain range where you get all the particles to hit. So when you land right next to someone, you are going to get a lot of damage out of those. Now,
one thing I was a little disappointed that they brought here in 2021 was more expensive upgrades on the Scourge and Sparks. They really jacked up the price on those. That was one very disappointing thing that came in 2021, because I was working on Mark IIing all of my Scourges because they were kind of affordable. But now they're the same as the higher end weapons, I think, for upgrade prices.
Well, talking about changing upgrade prices, that reminds me, wasn't the platform merge in 2020 as well? Like, wasn't that in the spring?
I don't know.
I think it might have been.
It might have been.
So much happened. Because the reason why I was reminded of the platform merge by talking about changing the cost of things is because when they did the platform merge, that's when they stopped treating old economy versus new economy weapons, right?
Yeah.
Weapons and gear, right? They said, oh, we have these 2 different databases, and we cannot handle having 2 different databases when we do the platform merge. So we're going to have to merge everything. But by then they had changed the upgrade times on the new stuff on a couple of occasions, and we had gotten events where the upgrade times were cut in half, and premium cut the upgrade times in half. So really the upgrade times was kind of no longer that big of an issue. Also, they changed the way ads work with upgrade times. Sorry, Steam players. But so really upgrade times had gone from a huge issue when the new economy first started to by the time they did the platform merger, the upgrade times were not really a big deal. Now the price is a bit of a deal. I really hope that anyone who had any old economy gear that they liked, that they got it leveled up before the merger.
Yeah, I was doing my best to level as much of that up as possible before the prices changed. But, oh heck, I was just going to say something and then my mind went blank. Well, we'll think of it later.
So, I mean, there's actually been a ton of stuff happen in the game. But what about with like your channel? Like, do you remember how many subscribers you had at the beginning of the year?
Well, I don't think I'm not even sure if I've been doing this channel for an entire year, to be honest with you. It's going on probably close to a year, so
I think the channel's a little bit older than a year. Did you get one of those emails from YouTube saying like a year in the review thing?
I don't know. I never really paid too much attention to those. I might have. I might have. I'll have to look on my emails, but I'm not very good at keeping track of time.
Not
I
very
will
good at
tell you
keeping track.
that.
Well, my channel, I know my channel existed a year ago, but I wasn't putting any content on it. And I may even had a different name at the time.
Yeah, I've had this channel. I've had this channel for a long time. So, yeah. Like, I had it for a few years. I just made a second channel and didn't really do anything with it. I uploaded a video or two here or there. But I actually started putting out content maybe like 9 or 10 months ago, like regularly doing it. But I think I went from like 350 to over 7,000 subscribers this year, which is pretty awesome.
I mean, I probably had single digit at the beginning of the year, or maybe like, almost none. And I started actually doing content in like June, and I just got to 1,000 a couple weeks ago. So that's
actually
pretty nice.
That's actually very good. Like, one thing that was a giant help for mine was it was in June or July. I think I had 3 big giveaways that month, and I jumped from like 1,000 to 6,000 subscribers in like 2 months or something because of the giveaways I had going on. So
yeah,
and then
those are definitely good for subs.
And then all kinds of people started leaving. Like, all the people that just came for the giveaways were like, oh, the giveaway's done, and they slowly started to unsubscribe. And I was told they would do that. That was one of the first warnings I got, was don't be surprised if people unsubscribe. So don't freak out when giveaways end. That's just what people do. So I said, okay. And it did happen. Megatom Gaming, he's got a new channel. If you guys would like to check out Megatom, that would be cool. Yeah, so what do you think's been like the biggest help for your channel so far?
Oh, the biggest help for my channel. I mean, I don't know. Like, mine's been really like. Well, I guess shorts. Shorts helped out my channel a lot. It got me a lot of subs really relatively quickly.
Yep.
Because those get promoted like way more than my regular videos, just because there just isn't as much content, at least new content, in the shorts feed. So that has helped out my channel quite a bit.
So there's some really good advice or something to think about doing if you're kind of a new YouTuber and trying to get your channel going. You got to do the vertical videos, and I think they have to be under 1 minute long, and I think you have to tag them a certain way too. But I guess a lot of YouTubers are saying, hey, those are really racking up my subscriber count, so you all want to think about
not
doing
very good
some
for
of
watch
those.
time.
That's true.
But good for subscribers.
Not wearing shorts, Mr. Tusk. It's like YouTube's version of TikTok or something. They're these little 1 minute or shorter videos, and they just play one after another.
Now, I know at the very beginning, I got a shout out from Zox, and I think that took me from like 30 to 60 subscribers.
Oh, that's
so that
cool.
was kind of nice. Yeah, you made a community post and with a link to my channel. So that really helped me get started. I think what helped me most, actually, honestly, was like the few people who would like actually just watch my whole stream. Like when I was like had like 2 people watching, but it was like the same 2 people the whole stream. It's just like getting that watch time. Like,
yeah.
Helped YouTube to recognize that like people would actually watch my stream. I think that's probably what helped me most is like those regulars.
Yeah, regulars are awesome. I have quite a few of those, and I love seeing the same people stop them back for all the streams and stuff all the time. It's just nice to get to know people, and you start feeling more comfortable when it's like you each get to know each other a little bit. It just makes everything pretty awesome. Now,
I think that's what I love about streaming is just the social aspect of it. It makes it so much fun. I mean, I generally describe myself as an introvert, but when I come off of a stream, I'm just like full of energy, and I don't know why. It's just like a complete flip-flop of how I normally am. I'm just like so excited to interact with people when I'm on stream. Yeah,
I'm usually a pretty quiet person. YouTube sort of changed that though. Like, I used to be real kind of shy, just never said much. Like if I was one-on-one with somebody, I'd talk your ear off if I knew you, but like in a group setting, I would hardly ever talk. Now I'm just so used to talking. Like I'd probably just talk everybody's ear off all the time.
You know, that actually reminds me of myself. I feel like when I'm talking with one person, I'm like 70% of the conversation.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's like a third person there, I'm like 15% of the conversation.
Yes.
And if there's like 5 people, I'm like, okay, I'm 1% now. I'm not even here.
That's exactly how it is with me too.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
yes.
now what about one thing you never said? What about being on the live streams with me? Do you think that boosted your channel subs up very much, or?
I think it's been a good little bit of help. And like I think we started at around the same time that I was doing a lot of the subs. I was just doing the shorts, so I was getting a whole bunch of extra subs, and without going like combing through all of my videos and like seeing where they come from, it was actually would have been a little bit tricky to figure out exactly where the subs were coming from. But yeah, there's definitely been a few people that have come over from here.
So
which is great.
Ryan says it's awesome when you squad with those guys. So they enjoy.
That's
that.
one thing that I do that a lot of other YouTubers don't do as much of. I'm just like, I'm all about just trying to have some fun with my viewers. So I pretty much like every time I stream, there's like 1 or 2 people in like expert league in the squad, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. As long as we can have some decent games, this is fine.
Now, I kind of got the idea from Justice, but I've been telling people to time drop me because back when I was playing with people, you know, the invites would just non-stop come in, so I kind of cut it out. But the time dropping thing, it's kind of fun and challenging at the same time. It's just like, oh, I'm going to try to get in the game. I don't know why, but that's more fun to me trying to time drop than to be invited. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
Yeah, the time dropping doesn't work for some people are really good at it and other people are not, and I'm not exactly sure what causes the differences, but
yeah,
time dropping is definitely fun.
There was a couple times I went on Justice stream and time dropped with them, and almost every time, like I'd say like 8 out of 10 times I would get in.
Yeah, I know I had a couple times where Death Row was doing the time drops, and like a lot of the people were getting into the same games, which was nice. I had limited success with mine. For me, I don't accept invites from anybody. I always create the squad and send the invites. And now I've got the whole queue system going in, so I'll make sure that people have an opportunity to get noticed in the chat by using the bot commands and stuff like that. So
see, I'm a little
so
afraid
far it's working.
I'm a little afraid to add too many people to my Facebook on that account because I'm worried I'll be trying to make my videos and they'll just start sending friend requests all day, every day long, like non-stop. Not friend requests, but game requests.
Now, then I can just disconnect that. If that starts happening, I'm just going to disconnect that Facebook from my account when I'm not streaming. Because I actually have another one that I can use.
And guys, Ghost Boombada, or Boombada, what am I talking about? Ghost Boom Dab, he's got a really cool YouTube channel. You guys should check him out. All right.
Yeah, he also started his current channel this year. Like he has another channel that he uses for his racier content, and then he has his more community oriented channel he started this year. And I've been trying to follow that, though his times do not work well with my sleep schedule.
Yeah, I know. It's very hard to get the one that goes streams for me. I think he's doing streams at different times now. I'm not even sure when they are, but they used to be at like 4 or 5 in the morning for me or something. It's just like, ah, man.
Yeah, I've actually gotten up in the middle of the night once to do one of his squatter days, and it was pretty fun. Though I definitely wasn't at my best in terms of cognizance. But
Megatom, if the bot link does not work, that's interesting. He says the Discord link does not work.
It's possible. It's possible those links sometimes expire. For some reason, mine's never expired. The one that I posted around my channel.
Oh yeah, it says my invite is invalid. All right, let me try to figure out how to get a link to this here. Crap sandwiches, man.
But yeah, I mean, one thing that that's happened throughout this year because of my channel is that I've just like become integrated more with the War Robots community on YouTube, right? And I was familiar with before the year started. I was familiar with the War Robots community on Facebook and on Reddit, and to a certain extent on Discord. But I didn't really think of YouTube as like a community hub. But really, YouTube is basically a social media site. It doesn't. There's certain features that it basically doesn't have, like direct messaging. But short of that, it is practically social media. And there's
true.
definitely like a community that exists between the War Robots channels, and particularly the War Robots channels that stream. You see a lot of the same people around. And one thing I like about the YouTube community for War Robots is that it is generally a lot more positive than what you would see on like Facebook. A lot of people complaining on Facebook.
That is true. That is true. You're right. Every time I go onto the Facebook page, it's just the most unhappy people in the world. But yeah, I got a lot of really awesome, like mostly positive members that make the YouTube thing a lot of fun.
Funny thing that always happens on the War Robot streams on YouTube is like everyone just says hi to each other, and it's just like sometimes that's like half of the chat. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. It's like, oh hey, it's you. Hi there.
And it's always cool
because everyone wants to be polite. Everyone wants to acknowledge each other.
Yeah, and then a lot of people chat with each other. I think a lot of people are paying more attention to the chat than actually what's going on the stream sometimes too. So like the streams are kind of like a big party in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the fun of it.
Thanks, War Machine. Fate, have fun with your dank chicken, buddy. Moderators, guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys helping out and all that good stuff. You guys are posting some links to this Discord, so thank you. War Machine doesn't have a Discord or YouTube anymore. I think he did at one time. He might start another one up pretty soon, though. You're welcome, Tom. Yeah, one thing though is like, they added the Hawk on 2021.
Yep.
That's the one thing I'm kind of unhappy about. That thing just destroys me.
Yes, I mean right now that's the elephant in the room is the Hawk. People running hangars with 3, 4, even 5 Hawks, and it gets kind of boring. And like for me, it's not fundamentally different than what we had with the Ravana, or what we had with the Ares, or what we had with the Leech. It's like these individual bots that are just clearly the best option, and you just see more and more and more of them until something breaks.
Yeah. Christian
right,
Gaming, buddy, thank you. Yeah, the $1 donation's fine, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Every bit counts. Every bit counts.
But yeah, man, it's just something.
So for me, it's just boring. It's just boring. I mean, to be fair, like I find the Hawk meta about as boring as I found the Ravana meta. I think Hawks are made a little bit worse by the fact that between pilots and modules and microchips, you have a lot of options for making a bot tougher, but not really as many for making the bot do more damage. But the Hawk already kind of has the damage thing on lock.
Yeah.
So then you can just make it as tough as you want to, and then you're good to go. Because it's like you go to kill a Hawk, and it's like, phase shift. You hit it, and then it phase shifts, and then you get it down below 50%, and it phase shifts. Oh, and it has a crashing repair, so then it got a big bump of health. Oh, and it might have healed coming out of phase shift. And there's last stand, and and more healing, and it's just like,
oh, now there's 6 of them in the air, and they're all shooting me.
It's supposed to be a glass cannon, but when you run up against the ones that are really kitted out, it doesn't feel like a glass cannon anymore, because you can put a lot of fire into it, and it just doesn't die.
Yeah, they're getting old. One thing though is I'm glad I'm starting to work on getting some pulsars leveled up now, because I'm just gonna work on locking those darn things down so they fall right into the middle of the crowd. You can stand back
when you're allowed to.
stand back for 600 meters, even when it's in the air. Shoot it. Put some of those lockdown chips on there with the pulsars. A couple shots will lock that thing down. That way you don't take too much damage locking it. Ghost, man, thank you very much. That's awesome of you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ghost. When I lock, I'll lock them with my shredders too. But it's just when they have Kyle Rogers or they have an anti-control, and there's just so many of them, you can't keep track of which one you've already triggered the anti-control on.
That's true.
It's just really hard. It's really hard. Right. The Kyle Rogers just completely covers up that weakness. It's just like you cannot lock them down in the air when they have Kyle Rogers, and that's pretty darn powerful.
Yeah, I don't like that too much at all. All right.
But enough about that.
Scott up there. Mr. Scott. Have we heard about the new bot? Now, I'm pretty sure this is just a rumor.
I think it's more than a rumor. I mean, it seems like at least Zox has actually gotten a document. There was, I believe, deliberately teased, partial screenshots of the concept art of the bot, and we've got what looks like the same sort of text documents that a lot of the YouTubers will get from Pixonic when something's about to go on the test server on Zox's channel. It looks like we're getting a teleporting healing absorber bot.
Megatom, thank you for the donation. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So I guess the absorber isn't gonna do anything as far as dealing damage back to the enemies, but the more you shoot that shield, the more it heals your teammates. So
yeah,
it's just gonna be able to be
there's no built-in weapon.
Oh, there's a group of my teammates that looks like they need some help. It's just gonna be teleport right in. You're going to shoot the crap out of it. It's going to heal up everybody, and then it's going to leave. That's going to be nuts. I can't wait to see what that thing's going to be like. It's going to make the game pretty interesting.
It's got this really crazy support function, right? Because you can heal, but you could also protect. And it uses the teleportation. I mean, it is reminiscent of a whole bunch of bots that I've really enjoyed over the years. One of the things that I found before I stopped playing my Ravens, one of the things that I really enjoyed about them is that what you would do, you just kind of wait until one of your teammates engaged someone, and then you would just jump towards that engagement, because then the enemy was occupied, and then you could contribute without getting shot out of the sky. And this bot has an element of that, because you use the teleport to your teammate, and Mender, you get to heal the teammates around you, right? And Mender is another one of my favorite robots. So this bot has a lot of the elements of the bots that I've already liked. So I think it's going to have it's going to be a really fun bot to play.
Should be pretty cool. Now I've heard no confirmation that this is true from Pixonic guys. So
yes,
even though it seems like it's legit. And it probably is, but I can't guarantee that. So we're just going to say right now we're talking about a rumor, okay? Just to be safe, we're talking about a rumor.
Absolutely. Seems like a fun rumor, though.
It does. I think that would be really cool to have that thing.
What else was I?
Tattoo Josh, thank you, bud. I appreciate that so much.
But I mean, we were talking about Titans at the as we were talking about sort of the year in review. But I mean, before we started, you were asking me a question about my Nodens.
Oh yeah.
And you were asking if I get a lot of damage with it. I think was the gist of it. Was there anything more specific that you were trying to get at?
Okay, guys, the healing transforms into damage on paper when you're in a battle. So I'm trying to get an idea of exactly how much extra damage you earn on an average battle from having a Nodens in your hangar.
Yeah.
I haven't really played with mine too much. I do have one on the battle rec account. I've ran him a few times, but I don't know. I just don't think he's as fun, but he's a great support bot, and I imagine he does really rack up the healing.
Yeah, you've got a couple different things that you have to deal with when you're healing with the Nodens. For one, a lot of robots are set up now to heal themselves, so you're not necessarily going to be able to get a ton of healing off of them. Obviously, the sound weapons are now a factor, and even when you do, even when those things aren't coming into play, you can only heal 60% of the damage that the bot takes. And sometimes bots will just drop so quickly you don't even really have time to heal them.
That's true.
But, you know, it adds up over time. You just need to keep reaching out and pressing that button, and you're just kind of getting that extra little thing. The other thing to remember is Nodens has 4 Titan weapons. And, like, beta weapons are not that much weaker than alpha weapons. It's not like an alpha weapon is 50% stronger than a beta weapon. They can come pretty close if the situation calls for it. And the other thing that Nodens has is that when you have a maxed out weapons and a maxed out core, those weapons will have 100% defense mitigation. Unlike the beta weapons on your Arthur or on your Minos or on your O-Ming, those you're only getting 75% mitigation. With the Nodens, you're 100% no defense points in your way, so you can rack up a ton of damage just by shooting at other Titans, right? The Nodens doesn't have a great defense itself, so if you don't get yourself in a bad situation, it will die pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
That's going to be the way you end up not dealing damage with Nodens, is if you get killed.
Now, one thing, though, I'm sure you've been in the situation where you have 3 or 4 Nodens all running together in a pack, just healing each other, suppressing everything in sight, and you just can't kill those things when that happens.
Yes, the Nodens has a massive health pool, especially if they run a couple armor kits like I do. And because the Nodens targeted healing is percentage based, one of the best targets to heal is another Nodens. For one, they're not going to heal themselves very much. I mean, they do, but it takes forever to heal a Nodens up with its self heal.
Yeah.
Especially if you're running armor kits, because that self heal is not based on a percentage. It's based on a percentage of your base durability, not of your total durability. So if you have armor kits, it takes a very long time to heal yourself back up, just using your self heal. But when another Nodens is healing you, it heals you up really quickly, and then you can just become like this super tank because you just have so much hit points. I mean, Minos is the same way. Minos has the same number of hit points as Nodens, so Minoses are also really good healing targets.
I like the Minos a lot. I mean, it's so much fun to play, but yeah, like someone else said, it's not strong. It does die super easy, but it is crazy fun.
I've seen some Nodens do some Minos do some very, very strong things. It just needs it does need to be played right. It has a combination of very strong abilities. Like, it can cover ground very quickly. The knockback can be used for a lot of useful things, and the reflector is, there's only 2 things in the game have the reflector shield. Is the Hawk and the Minos. So if you're using the reflector at the right time and you're getting into the right positions, the Minos is very, very strong. The one thing that the Minos kind of has going against it is that it will never be as good against defense points as the other Titans. Because the maximum it can do is 75% mitigation, whereas all the other Titans have at least some of their damage. To be fair, I think the charge itself has 100%, but all the other Titans have some damage that can go to 100% mitigation.
Andrew, good night. Catch you later. But I wouldn't be surprised if that Titan actually gets a buff one of these days. I'm kind of expecting to see him get a little bit of a buff. What do you think?
It could happen. It could happen. Like, as I said, because of the way mitigation scales, the that not being able to get to 100% on the Minnows is a significant drawback. So maybe we'll see them trying to address that somehow. Or there's some stuff that they could do for sure. And if people don't adopt it very much, then that's actually quite possible.
I mean, if you play him right, he can be very deadly, but you make one wrong move with that guy and you're pretty much in little pieces all over the floor before you know what happened.
Literally, because that's how Titans go down.
Sure is. I do love the animations they made for exploding Titans. They're awesome. I wish there was more like crazy robot deaths. Like every once in a while you'll see something really weird happen, like a robot will die and it'll just like shoot way up in the air, then it'll come and it'll like tumble all over the place when it lands. I think those are glitches, but every once in a while you see this spectacular normal robot death. And I wish they would all do that. The other ones I like are like when a robot's up on top of a building or something and you shoot it and it just like slowly falls forward and like like slow motion falls off the cliff or something. That always cracks me up too.
I like to see hovers hitting the ground after they die in the air.
Yeah,
that's a nice little ragdoll moment. I just want to address Mega Thomas saying that 80% is the a maximum damage that gets blocked by the reflector, but that's resistance. Mitigation is the percentage of defense points you can ignore on other bots, and the maximum for beta weapons is 75%, except for with Nodens and Kid, who get a buff to that.
Yes, that's still a pretty good amount, though, if you really think about it.
It's just the 75%?
Yeah, I mean, that's still a lot.
Well, you got to remember that if you stop 75% of someone's defense points, they're still going to get like half of their resistance. Right? Or that's completely just ballpark. 'Cause if you have a Fenrir with 100 points, right, normally blocks 50%. You take that down to 25 points, they're still blocking about 20%. That's 40% of their resistance.
Okay, I always thought they just had 25% left or something. I don't know. I'm not good with the math.
No, I mean, I'll have to double check this, but I'm 99% sure that the mitigation ignores defense points. It does not ignore resistance, right? So you're not cutting down the percentage, you're cutting down the actual points.
Tattooed Josh says, I hit him with my Minos and I flew him off, sent him flying off the edge of the carrier map during a live stream.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying like the Minnows might be amazing on the new map because it definitely has some places where you can get knocked off.
One of the best things is that guy sends robots flying like nothing I've ever seen. Like, it's so fun to... I don't care if they fly off the map or if they just fly across the map and survive. I still laugh every time it happens. What? Andrew says, what the hell are you doing one in the map?
I think he's talking about the video again.
I'm not really sure what he's talking about there. No idea. Yeah, the video is pre-recorded. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, to give you the definitive answer to your question about getting damage with the Nodens, it really comes down to how long you can survive in it. Because if you can survive for a long time in the Nodens, you will eventually. The damage will definitely add up. But if you get yourself killed quickly, then you're not going to be able to add up quite as much.
Now, one thing is we haven't mentioned one of the biggest changes yet that we've seen during 2020, which is the whole remastered thing.
Oh yes, remastered.
How did we forget to talk about remastered? I mean, that's for our year-end review. We got to talk about remastered.
I mean, I can tell you why we forgot, or why I didn't really think to talk about it, because ultimately I don't feel like it changed very much.
Not really. It just looks a little better now.
I mean, the graphics are nice. If a remastered had removed more lag, I think the lag stayed kind of the same. Then like that would have been good. If they'd been able to launch it without as many bugs, then like that might have really really stuck with me. But the rollout, I mean, and I think this is largely, honestly, the pandemic probably made it really hard for them to get remastered out on schedule. It probably made it really, really, really hard. And they've been working really hard to get the bugs out. The game runs a lot better now than it did when remastered first came out.
That's true.
And I think some of the tech behind remastered is potentially tied in with the fact that we might be getting new servers. And I think it's made the game... I think they've been able to make changes to the game faster because of remastered. So I think we're going to really see the payoffs for that next year.
And I'm pretty sure there's going to be 2 more graphic settings coming out that are better than the ones we have now. I think we're going to see the high and ultra high coming out.
Yeah. Optional texture pack downloads, I think.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty crazy when the really high graphics pop out. It does make me wonder, like, how many phones are going to be able to run those. Like, if they do get the new servers and that takes care of the lag, I mean, I think my phone would be able to do it, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. There was a couple times on Remastered, on the test server, where that we did get to see the really high graphic settings. I mean, the robots had like shiny reflections on them and all kinds of stuff. There was only like 1 or 2 test servers I saw like that, but I was really impressed with the couple that were like that. I mean, it looked crazy good. And my phone didn't really seem to have any problems with it, but then again, I don't know, test servers may be a little different than live servers too. You don't have as many people on there and whatnot, but I didn't really have any issues with my phone running the I think they were the ultra high graphics we saw. Hey, Adrian's here. What's up, Adrian? How's it going?
And Adrian makes a good point about the lag. This stuff is really complicated. We're hopefully in the long run we get this all worked out, because I think being able to play without all the rubber banding that I'm seeing would be just such a delight. But
now, some people's devices do seem to run the game really well. Other people having problems. And another thing though is, unfortunately, like, cheaper devices have a hard time playing like high-end games as well, And someone brought up the thing the other day that, like, what if some of the lag was actually not necessarily you, but what if the other player was lagging and you're just seeing them lagging?
That's definitely part of it. It is tricky. I mean, like, it's hard to tell because usually you're paying most attention to like one opponent, and when they lag, you may not have noticed whether or not like every other person in the battlefield also lagged relative to your perspective. Because if you're having high latency, you're going to see everybody teleporting. But if the person you're looking at has high latency, then you're just going to see them teleporting. But sometimes it's hard to tell the difference because maybe you're only even looking at one person.
But I am pretty excited to see what the high-end graphics end up being like on the live server once they come out. But yeah, it's going to be cool to have a couple new maps coming out. It'll be nice to get the maps that have been removed put back in. I think they have a couple of those almost ready, if I remember correctly.
Oh man, I want Factory back so much.
I'm not sure if they're all. I'm not sure if they had them all ready, but I think they said there was a couple that were almost ready, and I think the new one's going to be coming out really soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say like they can keep Yamato, but honestly, I don't personally mind Yamato that much. I used to hate it. I used to hate it a lot, but I've learned how to use the cover that Yamato does have.
That's a very interesting map, actually. I've never really been sure if I've liked that one or not. It's not an easy map to play on, I'll tell you. And it's huge. It's a little too big, I think.
it can be a bit tedious at times.
I still want to see a kill house map where it's just like a little teeny room and there's like 2 beacons. Everybody just spawns in right next to each other, so you're just forced to like fight to the death the second you spawn in.
I don't see them releasing any maps with less than 5 beacons, but they do have that dual map. So maybe they'll come around to spawning 12 people onto that tiny map.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. Yeah. Ryan says a boxing ring. I don't think one of these robots would fit in the boxing ring, Ryan. These things are like the size of what, like a 3-story building. That would having a map with
no cover, like a boxing ring, would be kind of not fun because it takes a lot of the play out of the game.
That's true. It would just be something different, I guess. Ghost said he dies in every map. Well, that's why you're a ghost, buddy. You come back and haunt everybody, you know? But yeah, I think everybody dies on pretty much every map, though, honestly.
King of the Hill was an interesting game mode. I think they're happy with. I think they're probably giving up on bringing King of the Hill back because they don't want to split the queues any more than they have.
I didn't like that mode.
I think it had potential, but the way people ended up playing it was just super weird. Like everyone would just go for the beacon, and they wouldn't really play. They wouldn't really anticipate like what the next beacon would be and like actually fight. And like I remember when they first did mode selection, when they made mode selection available, people would just go into King of the Hill and would just like end the game as quickly as possible by just like going from beacon to beacon to beacon to beacon, game over.
I was talking with some people about a really cool game mode the other day, and we went in and suggested it to Pixonic, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. But yeah, it's something kind of like a mix between like American football and capture the flag type of deal was the idea we came up with, and that would be super fun.
Yeah, I mean, what we're probably going to see, like with game modes, is that they because of the age of the game and the multiplayer nature of it, we're probably not going to see any new main game modes. But we might see new things take the place of skirmish from week to week, or new kinds of skirmishes. But those are obviously going to be limited by what they can do technically with that mechanism. Because they don't want to put a ton of work into making a new game mode that only exists for 4 days. Or 3 days even. Yeah.
It looks like War Machine's about ready to drop in here with us, and I see he just popped into the chat. Looks like he's still muted, but
hi there, War Machine.
Say hello.
Hey P.G.O. Hey Danny. Hey everybody.
What? Oh my gosh, we have an intruder.
How's it going, everyone?
It's going pretty good.
It's going good for us, man. We hope you're having an awesome day today.
Having a great and blessed day.
So what was the best thing you thought we had seen in 2020 as far as War Robots goes, War Machine?
I would say probably on that aspect there is is like the new meta with the weapons and the you know, with the drones and everything. A lot of new items is mainly what I've seen, but meta.
That's what you liked this year?
Yeah, that's actually what I liked. Yeah, was the new meta part of it. You know, I love the cryros, I love the atomizers, nucleons, and of course the sonic weapons. So that's, you know, to me that was the best part of 2020 was the new meta that came out. You know, some of it.
Yeah, the atomizers and nucleons are actually some of the best weapons I think we've ever had.
Yep.
Hopefully they stay that way for a while. I don't know. You kind of wonder what they're going to bring out next. What's going to be next?
It's interesting how these things keep changing. Anyways, I'm going to step away for a few minutes and like hug my kids goodnight. I'm just going to mute myself and I'll be back in a few.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, P.G.O. Sounds good. So Danny, on that new gaming device that I'm going to be getting, I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with the gaming phone that Danny actually referred to me, and I did a bunch of homework, investigated, and watched videos and comparison and that, and it's the OnePlus 7, and they've got the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7T. I'm actually going to be getting the OnePlus 7T.
Yeah, that's what I use. That's a great phone for pretty much anything.
Yep. So that's pretty much what I've been doing all day today was getting some prices on those. If you've got $700-800, you can get the Pro model brand new in the box. I mean, and it'd be a great phone for you. But with my budget, the 350T series is going to be good enough.
The 350T?
Yeah, that's pretty much what you need to go.
I got you.
The OnePlus 7T model.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for $350, you can't go wrong. It's got the 850 whatever Snapdragon, Qualcomm, everything. The only difference between the Plus and the non-Plus was the camera was a little different on one of the cameras. The battery had just a minute difference in it on the size battery, and then the memory was just a hair low, than the other. So,
but that's what right now you can get those phones for a relatively cheap price, and I'll tell you what, it's a great phone to play War Robots on. Like when I play it on my phone, I really don't have too much lag. I don't have too many frame drops. I mean, overall, it does a great job. So. That's just
I watch yours. I watch yours when you're playing on it, and I'm like, man, he ain't lying. That is a really good phone. And like I said, I did my investigation. I did my little homework on it and tried to see what the upsides and the downsides was on it. And the only thing I can ever see negative on that phone ever is somebody said he got a refurbished one, paid like $380 for it or something. Got it, used it 1 month, went to go take a picture with it, the screen went black, and now it won't power on.
That's a weird way for a phone to die. We got a question here. Landon says, Falcon with 3 Vipers, is that still viable? You know what, that's actually a really cool setup, Landon. It's Falcon's kind of falling, like regular Falcon's kind of fallen out of the meta a while ago, but I think if you stay in the back and try and like keep your 500-meter distance most of the time, that can actually be really, really cool. Just be careful when you're going into your ability, because he dies real quick once he goes into the ability. So play him as a mid-range bot, and yeah, I think that's a pretty cool setup. Definitely hard to deal with. I mean, it's hard to play him against a lot of these current robots, though. I mean, like, the Hawks are just destroying everything. I mean, even like the Falcons and the Fenrirs, even if they have all the hit points, are having a hard time with the Hawks, I would say. So that's one thing you really got to watch out for, the Hawks and the Scorpions when you're playing that guy.
Yep, because they shoot right, well, especially the Hawk when it's in air, to shoot right through your defensive points. So. Yep.
Like if I play my Fenrir, Fenrir or the Falcon, I like to bring them out towards the beginning of the game, because Titans are the same way. Titans like to take those defense points down. So anything with a lot of damage resistance, I try to get it out there early just to avoid the Titans. And you never know when the Hawks are going to be out. At first, people were saving the Hawks towards the end of the game, but now they're just like bringing them out as their first robot and stuff. And that kind of makes certain things a little hard. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just not top notch anymore. It's still a really good robot. I still enjoy playing mine. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's just, it's just kind of, it's good, not great anymore, I would say, if that makes any sense.
Not great. It sounds like you're quoting me. I say that all the time.
Oh, really?
By the way, I'm back. Yeah,
all right, cool. I'm gonna run to the restroom now that P.G.O is back, so I'm gonna step away.
Okay.
I'll see you all in
Okay.
about 3 or 4 minutes here.
All right. So PGO, if you don't mind, what device do you play on a norm?
I play on my LD player emulator on my custom built PC.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, when I started playing the game, it was on my phone. I mean, that was like 2 phones ago. But I played tons. I played like lots and lots of games, laying like sitting back with my phone in my hand, and my thumbs they started to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And I knew about emulators, and I fired it up. And when I first started playing on the emulator, it actually didn't run as well because I had some settings that were wrong as my phone.
Yeah.
But I did it anyways because it didn't hurt my thumbs. Like I have big hands, and I didn't have a tablet at the time. And clutching my phone to actually reach the buttons with how big my hands were was really straining my thumbs. So
see, that's the problem I'm facing now. My phone is just way too small for my hands.
Yeah, so it's been emulator for me ever since then, and no repetitive motion injuries for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go PC. Eventually I'll have to, especially if when I start my YouTube channel back up. That way it's easier for me to edit or do whatever else I got to do. Plus, I can have all my other apps like Discord and whatnot on the PC, and I got to tie everything up on the gaming phone. But yeah, I don't know if you heard whenever you broke away for a second ago. Tonight, I'm actually going to be buying a new phone. It's going to be a OnePlus 7T. So I don't know if you ever heard of that or not. It's a pretty good model.
It rings a bell. I mean, I'm familiar with OnePlus. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a OnePlus. It's basically a OnePlus. It's just it's not the Pro. It's just the one under. So, yeah, but it's still a good phone, So that's what I'm going to get. So this crappy $40 upgrade Cricket thing that I have is going to go in the trash.
Yeah, congratulations, bud. It's nice to have a decent phone to play on.
Oh, man,
I'll tell
me
you,
about it.
One thing, all right, this is one thing we haven't mentioned that is really cool that we've seen in 2021 is there's been a lot more giveaways. Like, they're all over Reddit, they're all over they're on Discord, they're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now they're even putting giveaways on the test server. I mean, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, and not just giveaways. I mean, the I don't even know what to call them because events are like the special delivery chest and stuff like that, and like the mini events are when they do shorter ones. But I'll, for lack of a better term, I'll call them resource events. But we've seen a big uptick. I don't even know if we had these things at the beginning of 2020, but like we've got the upgrade rush, the upgrade overdrive, the platinum overdrive, the super chest overdrive, the pilot's overdrive. Like we have all of these things that are coming, and if you play them right, it really helps. It really allows you to stretch your resources a lot further.
I remember occasionally they used to do it at the same time, I think, where it was 25% less silver and you would have like half the time, 50% faster.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it as often, from what I remember. So yeah.
Adrian Chong just said it was an indirect way to help players with the economy.
That is true. That's a good point right there. And they have been doing a lot of things like I mean, there's a lot of things going on that have been kind of helping us with the economy. So that's a great thing to think about.
Yeah.
And there's some other stuff we actually didn't talk about. We didn't talk about the league the rating rework. And did the ranking by honor come in 2020 as well, or was that already in 2019?
I think that was
I thought it was the beginning part of 2020. I thought it was pretty much the beginning of the year when that happened.
Yeah. So those are some other things. Like, there's really a lot that has happened.
Yeah.
Midnight.
Well, the drones are a lot to sink in too. That was, for me, at first it was overwhelming. Now it all makes sense.
Midnight.
Yeah. I mean,
he wants to know what I think about the cannibal modules for the Titans. I think they're pretty cool. If you wanna take down a Titan as quickly as possible, run the cannibal reactors. I kind of like to keep the regular antimatter reactors though. I like to mow everything down quickly, but it can be pretty ridiculous how fast you can take another Titan down if you have a couple of those installed.
Yeah. Welcome, Turbo Knight. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I run a cannibal reactor on my Nodens, and when you kind of take it as your job to fight the other Titans, the cannibal reactor is invaluable. I mean, my Nodens definitely has difficulty taking down robots sometimes, because I'm not only am I running cannibal, I'm also running retaliator, which lacks the accuracy in certain situations. But if you're, it is an interesting balance to play. Like, how strong do I need my Titan to be against robots versus how strong do I need to be against the Titans? There's a few different ways you can trade off with that. Like, for example, I would say ruptures are generally not very good against other Titans, but they're pretty good for hunting down robots.
Yeah.
Whereas the retaliators are like probably one of the better beta weapons for fighting against other Titans in general.
Speaking of cannibal, I run 2 on my Ao Ming. I run a heavy armor mod and a self-heal, and I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm. You really self-healing module on your Ming?
Yeah, it's max. It's one level from being maxed out, but my other mods are completely maxed.
I guess that's interesting, because the advantage of that is that because that's based on the flat value rather than a percentage, is that any Titan you put it on will benefit the same amount from it. Yep.
I think all modules are really good on all Titans, honestly. It really depends on like what you're trying to do with it and your playing style as far as which Titan you want to run and which modules to put onto it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and the weapons can be like that. That is an interesting point. It's almost like the Titans, you get a lot more leeway for your play style than you do with the robots. It almost makes me worry that they're gonna nerf the retaliators and the vengeance just because like people just keep using them because they're fine. But
yeah,
hopefully they don't, because I love my retaliators.
I've been hearing some rumors about that, and I'd hate to see the retaliators and the vengeance get nerfed because they're nice starter weapons. I mean, they come with most of the robots, and you can just kind of have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, kind of could do a reverse and give it an extra 50 kilometers per shot.
I
don't even know what you said there, buddy.
Yeah, you kind of cut out. But Landon's asking what robots do you think are going to get buffs. I actually did a prediction. I did a prediction video back in the fall, and the only robot that I did a prediction for was Jaeger, and I think Jaeger is going to get some kind of buff at some points.
I keep hearing there's going to be a lot of buffs coming up here pretty soon. I don't really know all the details on it, but people are saying there's supposed to be a lot of items getting a buff, and that would be cool if that was true. Especially if they're items that I have.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, Orkin has been just kind of made so irrelevant. It'd be nice to see. I mean, I don't expect them to make it. This is responding to Adrian's comment that about Orkin getting a buff. I mean, I don't expect them to make it, like super relevant in Champion League, but it just seems like it's at a point where I don't see anybody ever recommending a new player spend their gold on Orkin.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be nice.
I think Pixonic would definitely consider bringing it up just enough that maybe people would actually spend their gold on it.
I think
I'd actually like to see the Tridents come back.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
You just give them that splashback. Like, they were working great until they took away so much of the splash. I ran Tridents as soon as they made them really cheap to upgrade. I was running the Tridents for a while.
I just started leveling mine up. I think I got them both to like level 6 or something. And then all of a sudden, they nerfed them and everybody was like, these are no good, so I stopped leveling them instantly. That was a long time ago. But yeah, Orkans, man, I think I got like 6 or 8 or 10 of those things. I'm not really sure, but I got a bunch of them sitting around, and I'm always looking at them thinking, man, should I sell these things? And then I'm like, well, you know, someday they might buff these again. Might as well keep them. So I know there's a lot of people.
at least a dozen Orkans.
There's a lot of
Me
people
too.
out there that sell stuff off as soon as it gets buffed or as soon as it gets nerfed, and I think that's the wrong move because you never know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, they could buff those to the point where they're just devastating again, for all we know.
Yep.
I mean, I used to play 6-pack, and there was like a really good deal for Orkans, and I just I already have like 8 of these, but I'm just gonna buy. I think what happened is I got a dock or something. It's like, oh, here's a deal for like $5. You can get 4 Orkans for your new dock, and I'm like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, I'll buy those. I'll have 12 Orkans now because I can run a full hanger of them for 6-pack.
All right.
I like to see the older weapons get a buff too. Not only just the Orkans. I'm talking about the mallet tees. Buff them. They're cheap economy. You know, quick to upgrade, and you know if you're low budget, there you go.
I like.
Interesting. I think they're kind of relevant for the fact that that what they cost. They may be a small buff. What I would like to see really is actually a new weapon that fills a somewhat similar role to the Molots.
Yeah.
That is just stronger and maybe has some other bells and whistles.
All right. Landon says if we could build a robot, what would it do? Will? All right, each of us should answer this question. First off, I would love to see a giant chrome samurai with laser beam eyes. I don't know why, I can just see this big samurai robot with a sword that shoots lasers from his eyes. That would be awesome. War Machine, what would you like to see? If you could build a robot, what would it do?
I like to make one. You know, do one that's called like the Resurrector. And if you die within so many meters, you know, your last stand ends, and you die within so many meters of your partner, he can actually turn to you if he's got his ability, and revive you again and bring you right back up to your last stand. Would be what I would like.
That's pretty interesting. The only problem with that is, the second somebody dies, they could be spawning in a new robot already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only issue with that. But if it wasn't for that, that would be awesome.
Have to be really. There's usually like a couple seconds where it has to load, but yeah, there would be a programming challenge there because the way that they are feeding the player's controls into that bot selection screen and having to interrupt that somehow.
Yeah, because I think most players, like the second they die, they're trying to get back in as fast as possible. Some of those guys are like Flash Gordon out there, like dead. Pop up. Tapping the button.
Like, down to the point of like, I'm just going to stand on this beacon and beacon rush, and I'm going to start going into the change bot menu before my bot dies, just so I don't lose this beacon.
Or
where that would come, what I was saying, where it would come out, you know, and helpful in there is like, let's say it comes down to you and a buddy and one guy from it's like the powerhouse of their team, right? And your buddy just lost his last stand and he dies, right? And you're looking at him and you're like, uh-oh. You turn, you revive him, and that dude kills you, but then your buddy comes back and kills him. Tell me that ain't a good day.
Yeah, or you know what? You could shoot somebody with his ability that's about to die, and if they get down to 0 health within like the next 5 seconds or something, it would heal them or something. I don't know. But yeah, something like that could be really cool. All right, P.G.O, what would you make exactly?
Okay, well, I've had a few different ideas throughout the years, but the one that I'm kind of happiest about is when they came out with the Greek bots, it always bothered me that their shields were bubble shields instead of physical shields, because like that's the whole thing about like the Greek way of fighting in like the ancient era was like they would do the shield walls and the phalanxes. with their shields. So my idea was like a variation on the Greek bots, where and it would be called Hephaestus, which is the Greek god of the forge, and he would have a physical shield, but every time he uses his ability, he gets a new physical shield.
Right.
And I mean, you could go a couple different ways like that. You could have the absorber bubble, and depending on how much damage you take on the absorber bubble, you get a new physical shield with more hit points, depending on how much damage you took.
Huh.
Or maybe you just have an invulnerable shield, and then at the end of that ability, you get a new shield that can be destroyed, but then your ability reloads again, and then you can get a new invulnerable one that lasts for a few seconds, and then back to having a one that can be destroyed.
Yeah, the Spartan robots.
So you have Hephaestus, the god of the forge, who just keeps reforging his shield.
Yeah, that would be really cool. The gameplay you're seeing there is just a pre-recorded video, guys, just so you have something to look at besides the thumbnail or whatever. So only the chat's actually live. Midnight says he wants to have a Gong super bot with an unbreakable shield. Our Gong needs something. I think we were talking about that on the last stream, weren't we?
Yeah, we had a couple ideas for sort of the revolutionary pilot for the Ogwang.
I still got Guam too.
I never got one of those, actually. I always thought he looked amazing, but every time I played him on the test server, it's like he gets up in the air, he zaps somebody with a lightning bolt, and then that's it. He doesn't last more than like 3 seconds.
But I think you're talking about Quinn.
I am talking about Quinn. Never mind. Gong's actually pretty cool. Never mind.
Yeah.
Wrong robot, guys. Wrong robot.
Yeah, Gong took a big hit when the Titans came out because it just loves to sit back and like do its thing, and then all of a sudden the Titans come in. And it's like, oh, your 80% resistance means nothing to me.
What's up, WR Gaming? Leech is the best. Welcome, guys. Everybody that's just stopping in, just getting in here. If we haven't said hello to you, hello. Thank you so much for stopping out to the stream, everybody.
Welcome.
Let's see. We got somebody in here making the curse of words, sort of abbreviating the curse of words. Please don't do that, sir. Please don't do that. All right. John Franks, what's up, buddy? All right. Somebody says they're still using the Riker. Riker's pretty cool.
Riker, I love that bot so much. It's just so low to the ground, and the way that it moves is just so good. But
why doesn't
another
it jump?
bot where they're just like, it's got 2 module slots instead of 3, and the problem is that the ability, like, there's just so many ways for its ability to not work.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, I've played the Invader for over a year now, because the Invader ability goes through so many of your opponent's defenses that you're much more reliable. But the Raker is just, its ability is so unreliable. But if it weren't for that, it would be such a great bot. I love that design so much.
Why can't we make modules in the workshop? I don't know. I've never really thought about that type of thing.
I mean, they've never even strayed towards the idea of module components. So without initially having them being available with components, the workshop doesn't really apply. Now, of course, they could say, hey, you can make them in the workshop now. Now they have components. I guess they could do that. But like, usually when they release these new bots and weapons, like, that's the first thing you can do is you can open an event chest and get components, right? And the workshop is a way to kind of finish that off, or sort of like add on to that. Like, unless you're like starting from scratch, you're not usually going to build a robot in the workshop from 0 all the way up to 10,000. You're usually going to have something from the battle rewards or from an event crate, and you're going to want to finish it.
It's like going. Oh, go ahead.
Where the modules, they just give you the whole thing, or they sell the whole thing in the store, put it in the gold chest. It would kind of be disappointing to open up the event chest and be like, oh, I got 500 Battleborn components. It's like, it's very anticlimactic. I got, 1/10, I got 1/20th of a thing that I can't even see on my bot when I equip it.
So the module's kind of like a special thing, right? It's like going to McDonald's and getting a Happy Meal. You have to buy the Happy Meal to get the toy, I guess. Actually, that didn't. Never mind. That didn't come out right. Scratch that one. Scratch that one. Now that I heard it out loud, that doesn't work.
I kind of saw where you were going with that.
But yeah, I think that's just one of those things they want you to use your gold resources on, so. It would be kind of cool if you could build them, I guess. I don't know. I probably wouldn't expect that to change anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that you build your module by saving up your gold. Like, any module that was old enough that would be in the workshop is one that could be bought for gold. And you can save up your gold and buy it.
Where's the factory map and remastered? Well, it'll be back. Leech is the best. I think they're just working on doing all the remastered graphics for it before they add it back into the game. But we do expect to be seeing those and the new map again pretty soon here. Nice. Jorgrander said he's won all of his modules from the chests. That's awesome.
That's the most efficient way to get them. That's the most efficient way to get them is just, like, oh, there they are. I guess I'll equip them. Basically, since I've started getting them out of the chest, I am definitely set. I have all the modules I need. I can switch them around.
Me
it's
too.
a matter of choosing which ones to level.
Yep. Problem with my modules, they're pretty much all level 1. War Machine, if you're back there trying to say something, I think you're kind of like cutting in and out. Like, we heard a little bit and piece of you talking there, but...
Oh, sorry about that, buddy.
No, I mean, I heard him clearly. We were just agreeing with me a second ago, so... Yeah.
I thought I heard him trying to talk and it wasn't coming in. I could be wrong, though.
No, I was just agreeing with P.G.O. on what he was saying, yeah.
Ah, Magic. What's up, buddy? How often do we get super
hello.
chests? Well, I'm too lazy to watch the ads for the videos. I mean, the ads to open the chest, so I don't really get them anymore. But it's not that hard to get a super chest if P.G.O. actually made a little 1-minute video on the best way to get super chests recently. That was a really good one.
1-minute guide to the super chest. For me, it really comes down nowadays to the operations. Like, I just got my super chest for this month, and because they had 2 different operations that gave like 1,800 keys, it's like that just rockets you forward. Especially now that they have the events where you get the extra 50% progress.
Yeah.
Like, so if the operations give me a bunch of keys, then I get super chest. If they don't, then I don't. Fact of the matter is, there's almost nothing in super chest that I want. I think Cyclone would be nice. But other than that, I have everything. So I don't even really worry about it.
Yeah, I don't even try to get the super chest anymore, because if I get the super chest, it's probably just going to be another bot that I got to sink more resources into, so...
Yeah, you gotta watch a lot of those videos and open up those little free chests all day long. And I don't know, I'm just at the point where most of the games I play on the phone all want you to watch videos. It's just like, man, I can only watch so many videos in a day anymore. I used to sit there and watch every video, but now I've been kind of slacking on the video watching.
Yeah.
Now, the nice thing is that those free chests now have power cells and tier 1 chips in them.
Yeah.
Which really can add up. Those can help. So they're a little bit more valuable.
Road said the last super chest gave him the Ao June. Some people still love their Ao Junes. Other people
The
are
weird thing
hating
about
it.
the super chest, some people keep getting the same bot out of the super chest over and over again. I know people who've gotten like 4 different Lokis.
Somebody
from
put
the
a
super
voodoo
chest for the
curse on
same
those
person.
people.
Hormakander said, what do you guys think about teleporting? What do you guys think about a teleporting Titan?
That would be too strong. I think
that would be interesting. I think what they would need to do is have it teleport a short distance in the direction you're currently moving. and have a really short cooldown and have it be like the secondary ability, so it can't cover ground really fast, but it can do some interesting like tricky stuff.
Venus, yeah, the Sam Stone pilot's actually really cool. I mean, if you think you're going to be using your atomizers, nucleons, and quarkers for a long time, it's probably worth
the
using.
Trick, right?
I mean, that's the main thing is how long you're going to use those for. If you think it's forever, I don't know. Like, I kind of have a thing against putting resources into weapon upgrades like that, but it's actually a really good pilot right now.
So I just took the plunge on a Sam Stone for my Bulwark because I have had this like regular pilot on my Bulwark, you know, since before the rework, and with just not having access to tier 4 skills to enhance that Aegis has been like a little bit of a pain point for me. But I just knew it was going to be so expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm currently running Nucleons on my Bulwark, and you know I just got to level 15 in Game of Thrones. So, yeah. So now that game's getting deleted, but I got 12,000 gold.
Oh yeah, me and War Machine were just talking about trying to get play those other games to get gold, and a lot of them, man. It's like you get on there. It's like, oh, if you can get this huge like 10,000 gold if you go over to this game and do something or the other. And he's saying a lot of them actually force you to spend like 20, 30, 40 bucks to end up getting that gold reward, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, because like on me, right, I was playing a game, and you have to bring one of your champions to a level 5, but you got 7 days to do it. And I was playing
9 hours.
6 to 8. I was playing 6 to 8 hours a day. I don't know if I did something wrong with my characters or what. I didn't sell none off at first or nothing, but I got all the way up to the last day where I was on a time crunch, and I had 4 stars out of 5, and there was no way I can make that 5th star unless I got 3 of those upgrade chickens, the 5-star upgrade chickens to put into my champion to make him a 5-star. So them chickens are like $3 a piece in the store. That's like $14 for me to get 10,000 gold that way. So how I did, I thought outside the box. I sold every item I had except for that champion, literally, and put all that into him to make him a 5-star.
That's what I did, but I did it not at day 7. I didn't do it at day 6, 12 hours. I did it day 1, 9 hours. Literally less than 12 hours after I installed that game, I had a 5-star champion, and then
And I think I messed up because I tried to take one of the level 30 champions from Get-Go to make him a 5-star. I think that's where I messed up. I should have tried one of the bottom level 1 champions and made him a 5-star. I probably could have done it in 17 hours or less, but here I'm trying to take that green guy you always see on their commercials, and make him a 5-star, and it just didn't happen like I thought.
Those things are definitely set up to be a bit challenging, but if you pick ones that don't have time limits, you can usually get there eventually if you just make sure you collect all your daily rewards. Like I've been mostly doing those the city building ones where you're like leveling up your town center and you're building up your army. As long as you can avoid getting all of your stuff destroyed repeatedly by the other players, because those games are very PvP.
Yeah.
You can usually get there eventually.
But yeah, I think most of the smaller tasks, like the ones that give out a big portion of gold, are going to be way harder to get. But I know a lot of people that do those smaller ones, and they get all kinds of gold. I'm just too lazy. I'm just like, man, I don't have time to install all these games and play them. So
the Game of Thrones things that I've been doing, that I just finished, like I've been doing that for 2 months.
Jeez.
Like friggin' like Halloween is when I picked it up. It's like 2 months of that.
That's
I
crazy.
haven't been playing it very much each day, just like, doing a couple upgrades and stuff like that.
Ooh, wait, I keep yawning.
Well, yeah, those city building games are pretty boring.
I've only
but
played.
I've got a few more queued up though. I'm just only working on like 1 or 2 at a time.
I did play Lords Mobile for several years. It's kind of like one of those city army building games.
Yeah,
And usually
they're all the same.
usually I've never played a game like that. For some reason, I stuck with that one for a really long time. But yeah, most of the time they all do feel very similar. That's one thing that's cool about War Robots, though. It's a lot different than most mobile games out there. You don't see too many games like this. I mean, this seems like something you'd find on the PC, you know?
The thing that always gets me with War Robots is that it just has this great balance of like the pacing of it. Is that like you can do a little bit without being. It's not like a pure FPS where it's like complete twitch headshot go go go, but it's not really slow paced either. And you everything is PvP. The thing that I find that all the things that have tried to emulate War Robots have are suffer for the fact is that they can't build up as much of a player base, and having that is like those pure 6v6 battles where everyone's a real player, it's just so much fun.
Yeah,
like that's where like Mech Arena really falls flat for me, is that you go into every battle and it's like of the 10 people in there, like at least 8 of them are just AI.
It just
doesn't feel the same.
I've tried every robot fighting game that's come out, and none of them can compare to this, in my opinion. Like, they all just have like a generic, or there's always just something I don't like about the other ones.
For me, the Call of Duty Mobile, not to try to promote another game or nothing, it's kind of like a War Robots, but with people. It's 6v6, unless you do the 10v10 map, you know. But it's 6v6, and pretty much one side of the stage is almost going to be identical to the other side of the map. You know what I mean? And, to me, I'm enjoying myself with Call of Duty and War Robots. Both of them games are my two to go play games.
Yeah, I played Call of Duty for a few months. I got kind of bored with it after a while, but it was a pretty fun game. Midnight said something. If you have like 25 Talumbas sitting around, should you sell them? I would. I mean,
yeah, I'd sell them down.
Yeah.
If I had 25, I'd sell them down to about 10.
My guess is you probably haven't even upgraded those, right? They're just... I mean, if they're not upgraded, get rid of them. There's no point in keeping them. If they're all sitting there at level 1... if it's not like... those weapons are so easy to get. Now, if it's a weapon that's hard to get and it's sitting there at level 1, keep it by all means. But, like the Punishers, the Talumbas, the Mullets, all that stuff... I sell those off as soon as I get them in, because you can go buy 25 of those tomorrow and it wouldn't cost you that much. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Or if you ever decided that you need one in the future, 1 or 2 in the future, you can always cook them in the workshop.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, those are silver weapons that you can buy for like 50 silver or something.
Yeah.
I know they're not that cheap, but... You get the idea.
Just if you ever need thunders, buy a Vityaz and then sell the Vityaz because it's cheaper.
Thanks, Jim Smith. Somebody else just said something I wanted to reply to, and I can't remember what it was. Samuel Wong, hello.
Wait, was it Chick Nader's comment? Use robots like the Bulgasari, Leech, Oaquin, and Loki, and the Falcon, and the Raven. Use the older ones to avoid being affected by nerfs. Was it that one?
No, but that's a pretty good
it's a good
theory.
point. I think the Bulgasari actually has a decent position in the meta, because that shield can be really strong. And obviously Loki still has its uses. I think a lot of people who run 5 of this, who aren't willing to run multiples of the same bots and stuff, are definitely looking for like what bot is unlikely to be nerfed next, right? And that's where lately I've been recommending Hades a lot, because Hades got a buff, and it's probably not gonna they're not gonna turn around and then immediately nerf it. So it's probably you can build it in the workshop. You only need 3 weapons to equip it, and it is great. It has so much it can do with that short ability cooldown, and decent amount of firepower, and that built-in weapon can be really powerful.
Let's just
think
say
things through.
Let's just say they did nerf the Hades back to where it was before the buff. It was still awesome then, so heck. Win-win either way, I
That would be
guess.
kind of disappointing. That'd be kind of disappointing
It would,
if
but-
they turn around and just like, nah, we're just yanking you around. I don't
The
think
good thing about that is using, like what he said, with using older bots. Yes, you're using bots that ain't really got the nerf that, you know, kind of, you know,
hanging over them.
yeah, you know, a bad nerf anyway. You know, they may have got a nerf once or twice in the past, but nothing that's going to ruin them like Al June. But the bad thing about that is, though, yeah, you're giving up the pilots, because you're not going to get a legendary pilot with all the extra things that way, you know, assigned to the motor bots. So
Some of them have that.
Yeah,
Actually.
but some of them,
some, yeah, but not all.
they've gotten some
Yeah.
good ones. And you know, like, look, there's some bots you just put an Adrian on there and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. Adrian's good on almost anything if you want a good brawling pilot. You know, yeah.
I'm jealous. When's my pilot gonna come out?
You know, Danny, I was just saying that to my clan day before yesterday, right? I said, you know, Adrian's got him a pilot, which, you know, he earned it. He, you know, it's due. But I said, you know, I would love to see Danny get one. You know?
Yeah.
I
I would absolutely be fantastic. I'd love to see them do more of that. Unfortunately, I don't think you're on the top of their list, Danny.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
But that would be fantastic to see. I'd
That
love
would be
to see
awesome. Yeah.
more personalities from the community, because I mean, I've talked about it before earlier today, like in this very stream, I've said, like, I love the community of War Robots, and I'd love to see them sort of make more callbacks to that with stuff like that. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Leech is the best. I agree that they should buff the Punisher and give it a shorter cooldown. They actually did a test server where they did an 8-second cooldown instead of a 10, and that was a lot better. But unfortunately, that was a long time ago, and it never went through. So sometimes you do see things on the test server that don't make it to the live server. But I was pretty disappointed. They were also talking about buffing the Nemesis, and that never happened either. So
Yeah.
that was disappointing.
I mean, I have a
Nemesis needs
theory why they
buff.
probably wouldn't buff the Nemesis. I mean, it needs a buff. I love of the three Pantheon bots, Nemesis is my favorite to play, because it just how short its ability is makes it play differently than the other bots.
He is
right.
fun.
It closes the loop so quickly that it plays very differently. The problem is it only has 2 weapons.
Yep.
So they don't want to put it in a position where everyone wants to play it, because it's just too easy to equip.
I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I feel that my damage goes down a lot when I put that in my hanger. That's the only reason I don't play it more. Just not enough damage comes out of that guy, unfortunately.
I guess they could buff it by giving it a 3rd weapon slot.
Now that would be
Just
cool.
make it like a Fury.
Yeah.
Fury, but with mediums.
Jim Smith said, as long as Danny's pilot says die, da da die, da die, da die, die.
That'll be his name. The Danny die.
I had an interesting idea for a pilot, where his name would have to be his initials would have to be LAG, and what he does is that he makes your bot invisible, like completely invisible, when you phase shift.
Oh, so that's what's going on with mine now. Okay.
I don't get it.
Huh? Well, you know what? When players lag, right?
Yes.
Their bot will freeze and then like appear somewhere else, right?
Okay, gotcha.
So that this bot would change your phase. His unique skill would be that when you use phase shift, instead of your bot becoming translucent, your bot would just freeze in place from other people's perspective, and then you would move, and then when the phase shift ends, it would reappear wherever you moved to.
Midnight, we were talking about that new bot a little bit ago. I mean, as far as I know, it sounds pretty legit, but as far as I know, it's still a rumor. I haven't heard Pixonics say anything about it. So until they actually say, hey, we're coming out with this, I take it as a rumor. Sounds pretty awesome, though. I mean, it very well could be the real deal.
Will Harris just said, or a vortex damage buff. I've got a set of level 12 vortexes on my Spectre, And I don't think they need a buff, man.
Neither do I.
They hit.
I don't think Vortex. I think
They hit
Nerf. I
hard.
think Thermite might need to be addressed. Like I think they just need to make Thermite more accurate or something, because it's always
Yeah.
been like the sort of the shunned, like out of place heavy weapon. And I mean,
Yeah.
Aphids could honestly tolerate a little bit of a buff too, but they are cheaper to get, so I could see them not buffing them as well. But Vortex is really the strongest weapon of those three.
Man, yes.
Vortex is nasty, especially if you have like 4 of those on. Oh man, the Spectre with the Vortex or a Leech with the
That's
Vortex.
right. I got them at level 12, and I can hit almost 50% of the bots out there with one loadout with all 4 of them and take them down to last stand, if not half-life.
Chick Knither or something like that. Ansel needs a serious buff. I agree with you. Is that Chickinator? I probably said that crazy wrong there. Ansel could use a buff for sure. Imagine if they turned the Ansel into an Aegis shield. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Or if they turned it into a absorber shield. Oh, or a reflector shield.
How would that work?
I don't know. It would absorb.
All they need to
Wait. If you put it
all
on
they
your
need to do to make
Lancelot,
Aegis useful is like just they need to release some more good weapons that don't go through it.
if
then
you
it might
put
be
it on your
relevant.
Ancelot, if you did the Ancelot, the absorber shield would heal your physical shield. That's how that one would work.
Because I mean, like the Ansel is actually really strong. The problem is that it's just too easy to subvert in the current meta with all the energy machine guns.
Yeah, because in Champions, almost everybody uses energy stuff, and it goes right through that type of shield. So.
I mean, to be fair, the sound weapons don't go through it, but those are often on Scorpions or Rovanas, and they seem to have a knack for getting within 30 meters of you.
Yeah, plus they pop your sound weapon real quick, too.
Maybe make it smaller? I guess you could buff it by making it smaller.
I don't think anything's wrong with the Thermite, actually. It's not a really popular weapon, though. I don't see too many of those.
It's just so inaccurate. It misses like it's its job.
Ghost had to get groceries. Dude, you left my stream for some food?
There better be some coffee in there.
Man, I would have. I'm so sad. You had to leave just to go get some food. I don't know, man. They say never go shopping when you're hungry, and I think every time I ever went shopping, I was hungry, and then I'd buy all this crap, you know.
Yeah, but
all
then
the
you
hot
got food for
pockets and
Easter's.
stuff. Now I just order my food online most of the time. The majority of it.
That's what you almost got to do nowadays with this pandemic and stuff. It's scary.
Trying to stay away from the grocery stores.
Yeah.
Hopefully this vaccine fixes that stuff up. What's crazy is you get the first dose and then the second dose comes like 2 weeks later or a month later or something.
I think it's like 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
Where's-
it's just how these things work.
Sounds
I'll
like
wait
there's
for y'all to get it, and then I'll sit back and see about 7 months later and see if you guys are still kicking like chickens, and then I'll get it.
sounds like there's some people who are having a lot of problems with the vaccine, like bad reactions and stuff. I don't know. That's what I'm scared of. I know.
Will Harris says, "Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. I'm sorry."
I think P.G.O was saying he didn't think anybody would really have reactions to it, but sounds like some people
There's always
might
a
be.
possibility of reactions. I think there might be some allergic reactions, but I mean, it's not something that's inherently dangerous. It's the same kind of materials that are going around all the time in living things. It's mRNA.
Yeah, they'd probably
An allergic reaction to that kind of thing is possible.
They'd give it to me, and I'd probably spontaneously combust or something. That's the kind of luck that I have.
And look, how many different companies try to make a vaccine for this thing? Who knows? In a couple months, we might have another vaccine that has a completely different mechanism working and less side effects.
Yeah.
Ghost says
So-
beer. Beer keeps them from getting it.
Bear.
By the end of this year, we're probably gonna have a dozen different vaccines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end
Hopefully-
of, sorry, next year, I should say.
Hopefully it's one of
I'm
those.
already thinking in 2021.
Hopefully it's a vaccine that you only have to take once and not like every month or something. You know what I mean? I guess they don't know how long it's gonna work for once you get it.
Yeah, I mean, generally
Uh-oh.
the way the human immune system works is you're going to be at least going to be like years of immunity once you actually works.
Abdul WR Gaming, it's your birthday, huh? Well, hey,
Happy birthday, Abdul.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Abdul.
definitely. Mason, what's up? How's it going?
Will said, what is better, 200 or the 400 chest? And in my opinion, it just depends on what, look at each chest and what items are in there and what do you need.
Yeah. For me, it's always what's in there that I don't want. It's like which shit
Right,
is
yeah.
least stuff I don't want.
Right.
And for me,
And
that's
one
the
you stay away
200.
from.
Because those sound
Yep.
weapons are the hot items, and that's
Yeah.
most
Yep.
of what's in there.
Yep.
Huh. Kay says most people are able to get it again, but they're only immune for a few months.
I heard that.
I don't know, this stuff's scary, that's all I can say. Anyways, let's try and get off the horrible topic of horribleness and get back to some fun stuff,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's enough bad
Well-
news in the world. We'll try not to have too much of that here.
10-4. Well, I got my wolf pilot up to a 46 now, level 46. I took one of the other skills off.
What pilot?
That made the depth on the
Virginia
wolf
Wolf.
pilot for my new Fender.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wolf.
Is it Virginia Wolf? No, it's
yeah,
different.
Wolf.
I'm getting the name.
Bernadette
What's
Wolf.
the name? Bernadette Wolf.
Bernadette
That's
Wolf,
Virginia
yeah.
Wolf is something else.
Yep. And I got her to a 46. I took the other skill that was on there that said it was a blue skill, but it said make the Devastator, X amount stronger, So I took it off and I put the defensive points, the 5% or whatever percent defensive points, and then I upgraded it twice, the 1,000 gold and the 2,000 gold. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think once I level up my Bernadette Wolf again, I'm just gonna pay to pick tough guy and just go from there because it's getting
That's
pretty
what I
expensive.
should have done. It was 1,000 gold for that, right? And I bet I spent at least 800 gold to do the 50 flip, 50, 50, 50, 50, or no, actually it was 200 because of where I was at.
Yeah,
200
exactly.
gold was
Once
fine.
it gets when it's like 50 or 75, like go ahead, just roll because you can get tier 2, you can get tier 3, you can get tier 4. You probably
Yeah.
got a few different skills you're willing to take, but once it gets up to like 200 or more, it's just like, this is getting expensive.
Yeah, it popped up on Adamant Roadhog twice on like 3 different spin, like 3 in between. It popped up Adamant Roadhog and then another Adamant Roadhog, and I'm like, come on, man, charge me 400 for me to tell you no twice?
I would love to see the pilots go back to the way they were before the rework. Maybe not the tier thing, but the prices. I would love to see the prices
Yeah.
go back to the way they were. They
You
were
and me both.
I thought they were a little bit too expensive back then, but then they like tripled it. Now it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, it's how they justify producing that content is that they can keep getting us to spend gold on it.
Yeah.
When you can just like level some pilot, if you could just like level up a bunch of Adrians and then like just like switch them over to whatever new bot for like a few hundred gold, it just like kind of puts really short circuits that system from their side. So I'm just hoping they put more development time into coming up with some interesting pilot skills and new legendary pilots and stuff like that. That's my consolation.
Best weapon for leech. I guess I would say atomizers, probably.
Atomizer, Scourge, either one of those setups.
Terrans can be pretty sweet. I know a lot of people don't like the Terrans, but I love those things.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't run like the 200 meter too much on that unless you plan on making them an in-your-face brawler bot, but
Oh yeah, Pulsar Leech, that's true. Adrian said
Yeah, Pulsar Leech. Agent said, yeah.
Well, that's definitely a strong build.
Pulsars are very different. I've recently been playing with some Pulsars, and
yeah,
they're not as fun to me as I like to get up and brawl. Pulsars really aren't a brawling weapon, but
yeah, they're more extremely of a midfield good. And backfield.
They're extremely good. You can keep Leech alive for a really long time with some 500, 600, or 800 meter weapons on there. You know, those sniper weapons on the Leech can be pretty awesome too. I remember Manny, I think it was Manny did a video where he got like 5 million damage just with one Leech and those not Gauss, but Weber. Yeah, Webers. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Wasp Leech. Yep, that's a pretty good one too, Samuel. Ghost Bomb Dad said, "Is a pilot worth it anymore, especially when the new module, with the new modules and as well as drones? I don't think so with pilots anymore, or I don't do much with pilots anymore," he said.
I mean, the pilots still. I mean, there's a bunch of things that pilots can do that drones just can't. Currently, at least, right? Like just adding more hit points to your robot and. And being able to increase your robot's speed. Like, I mean, Armor Expert and Roadhog are the skills that I'm basically looking for every single bot.
Yeah, I think there's about
and drones don't replace that.
There's about 4 or 5 skills that I think are like a necessity on every pilot. You know what I mean? And then if you get a legendary one, you get a bonus skill along with it. So I think pilots are kind of a big deal still. Like the drones, I would much rather spend my gold on a pilot than the drone chips, to tell you the truth. The drones are kind of on the back burner for me. I mean, they're cool to have and whatnot, but I would level up a pilot first, personally.
Yeah.
The tier 3 and 4 chips get incredibly expensive,
yes.
And the benefits from them can be very conditional. I'm focusing on just buying tier 2 chips and using the combination stuff and picking up ones I get from like the operations and just sort of slowly building those things up.
I've got 80% of my chips on my 4 good drones that I'm running, but all 6 of them really in there are all the T3, the purple. I've been winning those out of the 400 event chest, left and right.
I think I've only got 1 drone with purple chips on it on my personal account. Most of those are like the healing chips that I use to put on my Fenrir.
I think I've moved in almost entirely over to tier 3 chips at this point.
Nice.
Because I've just bought up so many tier 2 chips and just been combining them. I still have some tier 2 battery microchips because like I'm only using battery microchips to combine into more battery microchips, and I think I have like a battery microchip on every one of my drones now. So coming up with enough to combine it can be tricky.
I've been slacking on buying the microchips.
I just got a tier 3 chip yesterday that was a freeze chip that if someone hits me with their freeze weapons, and when I got this activated, it kicks my defensive points in on whatever bot it's on.
Yeah, that's a good effect. My problem with that is that freeze is not super duper popular right now, so you can go whole battles without it even happening.
Yeah.
But when it does happen, that definitely comes in handy.
Chip. Yeah, because I was like, you know how many times I am out there and I get locked down with freeze or popped by freeze behind me, and I'm like, man, I wish I had something to counter that, you know?
I mean, now getting that effect on lockdown, like that is my favorite defense chip, and I run a few of those because that's like right when you're vulnerable. It's like, nope, I'm gonna be tougher.
Yeah.
I actually think I did a video showing my setup for my PC and all that one day, so I probably got a video like that out there on my channel already.
You've got a couple of those videos, Danny.
But I mean, I don't know, I just got a bunch of like budget stuff that works really well for the most part. Nothing too special. I mean, I don't have like a full-blown like studio or nothing. It's just, you know, my little computer on my desk. I hang a green cloth behind me for the background when I make my videos. Real basic stuff. I think the nicest thing I probably have is my microphone.
P.G.O, do you run a background blocker on when you do your YouTube channel or no?
Not yet.
Not yet.
My birthday's coming up. I might be able to get some green screen fabric.
That's what I was thinking too. When I start my YouTube back up, I'm gonna do that probably.
But I mean,
I just frame myself really tight with the webcam, and so I don't take up too much of the screen.
I mean,
Got some cool looking stuff behind me.
The cloth I got for the green screen is like, I think it's like 7 foot by 15 foot. It was like $15.
That ain't bad.
Nope. As long as you get the right color. It's real thin. You can kind of see through it, but fortunately that doesn't matter. It doesn't cause any problems at all. When I first got it, I was like, oh crap, this is junk. But we hung it up and it does the job.
Welcome, Earl.
My name is Earl. Ha. I love that show. But yeah, I mean, the green screen is not too bad.
I found that show weird.
You know what else I saw, P.G.O? This one's a little more expensive, but for like $75, they make this green screen that straps onto the back of your chair.
Yeah, that seems... if I'm going to go for something, I really want the one that just comes in a little box, and then you just pull it straight up, and then it locks into place, and it just
those are
sits
cool.
there behind you.
Those are
so cool.
One of those
so
about
easy
$150
to put away.
What are they, like $150 or something?
Like 200?
The only thing
that might be Canadian.
The only thing I've noticed about those that I don't agree with is they're not that wide. They're not very wide. So you almost have to have it like right behind you or something.
That's all I need, though.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A nice wide green screen comes in really handy. Like, I mean, it kind of sucks. Like, I mean, you barely have, like, on something like that, you barely have room to, like, roll your chair back until you're hitting into it. It's got to be, like, that close behind your chair.
That's definitely something to consider. I'll have to keep that in mind when I go shopping for it.
I don't understand what Chickenator is asking. It's the 4th time he's asked this in chat. So what do you think of a legendary pilot that allows the Fusion, Rajin, the Wayland, and the Behemoth to walk when deployed?
I don't think that would be fine. I mean, presumably at a slower speed, that would be fine. You know, I guess the main thing that would prevent them from doing that is getting the animations to work right. But if they, basically did what they did with the Jaeger, allowed them to move their legs with a legendary unique, that seems fine to me.
That would be nice, actually.
Hey, Adrian just said, paint your whole room green, Danny.
Honestly, like, honestly, I would consider doing that if my room wasn't the way it is.
Yeah.
Like, I got pretty much, I have a room in a house here that I stay in, and all my stuff is jammed into it. So, I mean, I got, like, a couple of bookcases with stuff and big dressers, and there's just too much crap that would be in the way.
That you paint your whole room green, and you'll be in there one day with a weed whacker trying to do your walls or something,
I don't know about that. But honestly,
too much green.
I mean, if a plain white wall was what was behind me, I'd be all about painting that thing green. That would be so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat if the room allowed for it. That would be nice, actually.
Hey, Danny, would it be okay if I went over and grabbed Adrian Chong's link real quick and shared it in her, bud?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Pete.
Yeah, it should be fine, I think. Almost unnecessary, but totally fine.
I think everybody here knows how to find Adrian, but if not, you're about to find out in just a second. Yeah, Adrian's got an awesome
guys,
YouTube channel, guys.
We've been going for about 2 hours, and I think I'm running out of steam, so I might duck out now.
Yeah, it is definitely about time to call our quits here on this one. So P.G.O is out of here. Just to give you guys a little bit. One thing I just wanted to say.
All right, go for it. In 22 hours, right around when the season resets, I'm going to be streaming again. I'm going to be making my first somewhat serious pass at Legend League.
Congratulations.
I hope you get it.
I'll probably end up regretting it on some level.
Why?
Because, man, Legend League is a grind. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do it.
I've got 2 Legend
Gotcha.
Leaguers in my clan, and they put up like 16,000 cups a season, and they are true grinders to get there where they're at. I couldn't do it like that, like they do anymore.
I'm going to try. So 22 hours from now, you check out. I'm gonna throw my link up again. So anyone wants to catch that stream, that's what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow.
Sweet.
But for now, guys, you guys have a good evening.
All right, P.G.O. Have a great one.
Have a good one, buddy. Thanks.
But we'll probably go for about another 10 minutes here, just to give you guys a little warning and not end it so abruptly. So 10 more minutes, guys. This has been a fast
Adrian.
2 hours, actually.
It has, man. Well, you know, when you're having fun, things go by fast.
Yep.
You know.
Play around 24 hours. Imagine doing like a 24-hour stream. Some people do that, I guess.
Before. Yeah, I don't have the energy or strength to do that anymore. You know, I'm good to go in and grind. I probably grind, honestly, 4 hours a day anymore on War Robots and 2 to 3 hours a day on Call of Duty Mobile, and that's about my grind time. The rest of the time I'm just on YouTube or dealing with my clan or talking with you or one of the other guys.
I've never really timed how much I put into my games, but I definitely got to do some grinding on War Robots, and I got to grind on CSR2 as well to earn a bunch of those tokens or a bunch of points for my crew over there. So
yeah,
I don't know. I spend a couple hours a day on each game, a couple hours a day answering comments on YouTube, a couple hours a day in chat rooms. It's a pretty busy day, honestly, being a YouTuber. Most people would be surprised like how much time it actually takes.
It is. Well, when I start my channel back up, I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to do just what you do, Danny.
Yep.
I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to make the one video, 8 or 12 minute video for War Robots, and I'm going to make an 8 or 12 minute video after I get done with that on Call of Duty. I'll do that every day, 5 or 6 days a week, and then I'll make like 2 live streams a week on War Robots and like 1 a week on Call of Duty.
But it's probably best to only make 1 video per day, though. Just as far as the way YouTube looks at your channel and your views and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because if you make 2 videos, like video A might get less views. You know, if you were just to put 1, the 1 video would probably get more views and they would be split up, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like Adrian and Manny and those guys say it's always best to do the 1 per day, so I try to follow their advice there. Every once in a while I'll throw out like a second video, but not too often. I try to avoid that if possible.
Well, all I got is time on my hands, you know, so this is, you know, it gives me something positive to do, you know, as long as I'm doing something positive and something I like to do, it keeps me out of trouble and keeps me from going insane, you know, it keeps me level-headed, so to speak.
Yeah, 4 to 10 hours of recording for 1 video. That's dedication right there. Like if I did...
I did one. Yeah, I did an 8-hour video once before, and it took me 8 hours to edit it and download it.
If I didn't have the nerve and muscle conditions like I do, I'd probably spend a little more time making stuff as well. But
yeah,
I can't spend that much time doing it, unfortunately. I spend more time. I probably spend more time answering the comments than I do making my videos.
Yeah, Adrian said it takes me sometimes 4 to 10 hours, like you were just saying. That's a lot. People don't realize, you know, the subs and stuff that watch. That's why, Danny, you always notice whenever we do live stream stuff, I always tell you thank you and, you know, thanks for the work you put in for us, for our enjoyment and everything. Because a lot of people don't give the YouTubers these credit, you know, on how much effort and time and work that they put in for our content and our enjoyment.
Yeah, I remember the other day somebody was like, I think I can't remember exactly what I said, but somebody got on and they're like, man, you make a 5-minute video you spend 5 minutes, then you're done for the rest of the day. And it's just like, you, dude, so many people like commented and jumped on that guy and said, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I just ignored it, but there was like 15 or 20 comments of people telling that guy, like, hey, you're wrong, man. But no, there is a lot of work on this stuff.
It's even on a 10-minute video, if it's edited, unless you unedit it and stick it in there, if it's edited, you still put 2 hours, 3 hours into that video between making it, editing it, downloading it, going in and talking to, you got to answer your guys back, your subs and your viewers and everything. So it's like, it's time consuming. Just on a 5 or 10 minute video takes 2 to 3 your hours of your day.
But I mean, I try and keep my editing and stuff as basic as possible, since I can't spend so much time sitting in front of my computer. But it's still, between the 2 videos I make every morning, it probably takes me two and a half hours in total. Luckily, when I first wake up in the morning, I can actually sit down for a couple hours before everything gets irritated. Then the rest of the day, I sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and I can't feel my legs. So I'm lucky I can sit for a couple hours in the morning to do what I do. Or if not, I'd just be doing everything on my phone, which is no fun. But I mean, most of the time I do like a 5 to 15 minute video for the one channel, and about a 15 to 30 minute video for the other channel, and that usually takes at least 2 hours. Plus you gotta you gotta do all your thumbnails and work all your tags, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on. You got the editing process. Even if you're just doing like very basic editing, you still got to put it on the program. You got to sit there and wait for it to finish. I mean, it's a very time-consuming progress.
And then a lot of times you'll be 2 or 3 hours into it downloading, and something will happen and it'll stop downloading, and now you got to resend it and all that all over again.
Yeah, like yesterday I had a video that I uploaded 3 times to my one channel and it did not post. I don't know why. Yeah. Something weird happened in the editing, I guess. So I had one War Robots video I had to scrap because it was the same way. And then on the CSR2 channel, that other video, something weird happened when I edited those ones. And then uploading to YouTube, that takes a while as well.
Yeah, and then Adrian said, go ahead, buddy.
That song that gives me a headache is on. I gotta change this.
Is it? Yeah. Adrian said on there, he says, they should start a channel and do videos every day for a year. They would then realize how much work that's required. Yes.
Now, if you notice, like a lot of those YouTubers will put out like 1 video per week.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the big ones, a lot of really big YouTubers do 1 video per week, and they say that's all they can put out because they spend so much time. I mean, some of the stuff those YouTubers do is pretty crazy and there's like a lot to it. Takes them they got to order all the stuff for their video, then they got to set things up and put it together, and I mean, some of those channels, that's all they can do is 1 video a week just because it takes so long. So people don't really understand how much effort goes into some of these channels.
Yep. It's a lot of work put in. I think I'll do pretty good though, Danny, because like I said, I'm a moderator for so many of these big YouTubers, and respected YouTubers, and so very family and kid friendly in there, and also I think that I a lot of them guys know me from all them other channels, and I'm kind of known in the in the War Robot community, so I'm hoping that it'll do okay.
Unfortunately, we don't have like any internet services here that have a high upload speed. Like everywhere's got a high download speed, but no one wants to give us a high upload speed. But there's only like 2 or 3 providers we have in the area.
Yeah.
There's a couple really awesome providers that give you like huge amounts of upload and download speed, but Not where I live, unfortunately.
Adrian Chong said, I wish I had a production crew. I do all of it. He said recording, editing, thumbnail, and there's giveaways, LOL. Giveaways take a lot of my time also.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like that 200 giveaway, you'd be amazed at, like, it's almost stressful when you're sitting there trying to get all the winners, and then, like, there's a lot to it. There's way more to it than people think.
Yeah, then if somebody doesn't do it right, correct? Because, like, I've seen your videos, Danny, and you've tried to be self-explanatory when you tell somebody how to post their ID and platform and all that in there correctly. Yeah. Adrian's done the same thing. I've seen Chief do it, AD Gaming, Adrian Chong. I've seen all these different big YouTubers and respected YouTubers try to tell, do it this way. And then they won't do it that way. And then, or if they don't win, oh, it's your fault, Danny. It's scam. It's scam. You always give to this guy and this guy and this guy. And that's so far from the truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that get really angry when they don't win, unfortunately.
Nope, everybody can't win. If you only get 20 bots or 50 bots or 10 weapons to give away, that's all you're allowed. And these people don't even realize the subs. Them giveaways, you guys don't even get them items.
My very first giveaway, I was blown away by the hate and the negativity from hundreds of people who just didn't happen to win. And I tried to go through and explain to them. I said, look, there's like 200 prizes and thousands of people. It's like anything else. It's a contest. There's only so many prizes. Not everybody wins, unfortunately. But they're just some people got so mad.
Yeah, I know. I give away Octanian drones, and I don't even own one. That's what I was saying, Adrian. You're not the only YouTuber that I know that does the giveaway and don't get, Now, being because you guys are the, the YouTube partners and everything, y'all get that when they do give out a bot or when they give out something. Y'all get that program partnership, prize thing.
Lately, the YouTube Creators Program has been giving stuff out to us. That's kind of new, I guess.
Stuff, yeah. But other than that, y'all do the giveaways and you don't get nothing. But they're acting like some of the people will go in there. I've seen them tell you, Danny, oh, this is rigged, or I don't never win from you, Danny. I don't never win. And when I see that, I'll try to go in there and I'll say, hey, well, you got to post your pod ID and platform this way. Don't put like a space bar in between your pod ID and platform, because that's still considered as a letter, a symbol, or a word. You know what I mean? That just that space, or even if you hit space bar in between, that's still considered as a symbol. Just it is. And you know who told me all this?
There.
Oh, Islander Eddie was the one that I was talking to him one day, and I said, Eddie, I said I never went from none of the giveaways. Eddie goes, you know why? Because you're doing it the wrong way. He says, I'm gonna message you right now on Discord. We was already talking in voice chat. He goes, I'm gonna message you. And he goes, when you'll see the example I send you, and he says, start doing the giveaways this way. Ever since then, now I win. Just on that little pointer.
Interesting.
Yep.
So Catter says a great skill for the Danny Lightning pilot would be to not get stuck on things. Yeah, I need that pilot. I need that pilot of all of my robots. Maybe he could just be like invisible. He could like phase through objects. That would be sweet.
Well, but because you're the lightning bolt in your name, lightning. I would say to equip him with something like the Hulk has, an energy weapon like that, but have it like lightning bolt, almost scourge looking, but have a thunder sound to it when it fires off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. I'd like to see that.
Hakacho says he's won for me, so congratulations, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I say Danny's fair. All the YouTubers out here that's on the guild that's partners, they gotta be fair and just. They can't be biased. They can't, hey, they want everybody to win. They don't just want 7 people or 10 people to win. They want the whole bunch to win, but they can't give out the whole bunch. They only have an X amount.
We're asked to pick the winners randomly, so we can't really just pick and choose.
Adrian says Zeus. For your weapon.
The Zeus.
have something like the Zeus, but where when it thunders off like that, it makes that thunder, that crackling noise kind of to it.
Venus won a Sam pilot. That's cool. Congrats, Venus.
Oh, that's a good lick. Yeah, I don't even have a Sam Stone pilot yet. Good stuff, buddy.
But
he said today too.
We'll go about 10 more minutes, guys. We'll go until 9:30 p.m. All right. This is a fun stream. I'm having a good time. But I do got to get off here in a few minutes. So 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes.
Yep, 10 minutes. Danny, what are you working on right now in your hangar as far as what you're putting your energy on right now?
Those pulsars. Trying to get 4 pulsars. I got 2 pulsar. Oh my gosh.
Pulsars.
Hold on a second. I have 2 pulsars up into the Mark II range now, and I got one that's at level 10, and I got one that's at level 7 or something. So I'm working at trying to get the 2 lower ones up to level 12. I'll probably just leave those at 12. I don't think I'll. After I get those to 12, that should be good enough, and then I'll start focusing on probably Mark IIing those Soundwave weapons. I'm thinking. But I'm actually really enjoying the pulsars.
What's your highest level on your sonic weapons right now? Because I'm bringing my highest weapon on 12. You're already ahead of me, Danny, because I'm going to a 10 right now on my heavy on my Fenrir.
I got 2 Havocs and a Scatter at 12, and I think I've got 1 Devastator at 11, 1 Devastator at 9, and then I have another Devastator sitting at level 1 that I think I just pulled that last Devastator off that unboxing video I did when I opened the crates.
Yeah.
I was really hoping to get a couple more Scatters or a couple more Havocs, but hey, I'll take another Devastator, I guess.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a heavy out of the deal, because you know most of these bots anyway got the 1 heavy slot and the 2 medium,
Yeah.
So, you can't go wrong with at least, even if that's the only other heavy you got, go ahead and upgrade it in the backfield there, and when you get a chance to throw it on something. Ain't that new bot that's coming out, don't that have a heavy slot on it too? I thought I seen.
I really don't know. I like I said, as far as I know, that one's still a rumor, so I don't pay too much attention to that. I just know if it is real, it's supposed to teleport to a group of teammates. When you shoot it, it charges up its shield, and then the more you shoot it, the more it heals the teammates. And then
the more it heals to all the teammates,
Then it teleports away, and that's all I know about it. That would be cool if it is real, but as far as I know, it's still a rumor. It sounds like it could be legit, but don't know. Just don't know.
Bye, Hachiko. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for stopping by and joining us. Have a happy New Year's, bub.
Yeah, bud. Have a great one. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, Adrian said he's done Hulk squads already. See, the bad thing about people running multiple Hulks, and Chief said this the other day when I was modding in there with him, right? He was like, if y'all don't want it to get nerfed, don't put 4 and 5 of them in one in your hangar, because if Pixonic sees all the numbers on what bots are running out in the field at any given, like if they're overpopulated, if they're not, they throw off some code that their system reads, and so if there's too many Hawks out there, guess what? They're all gonna get a hella nerf, and then ain't nobody gonna be out there running them because they ain't gonna be viable hardly. So,
that's actually something I wanted to mention in this live stream, and I forgot, is the first thing that gets a robot or a weapon nerfed is when everybody uses it and it's terrorizing the battlefield. And the Hawk, they're everywhere. It's just a holy terror. It's destroying everything. It's crazy. So yep. I mean, of course, when it's brand new, they're gonna let it ride for a little while. But after a little while, they said, okay, we got to do something about this. And just like the Storms and the other shotguns, I mean, those got nerfed because they were just obliterating everything. And so many people were so mad, including myself, because I had just spent I don't know how many resources, just got a bunch of shotguns leveled up, and then bam, nerf. But I'll tell you what, the game was so much better to play after they got nerfed, because you weren't getting like one shot killed every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly what gets things nerfed is overpopulated and overpowered.
Yep. It's taking advantage of it out there. Kevin said, I'm hoping to finally get a healer, and I thought Nightingale was a good match. I have a Quarker and an Atomizer and a Cryo on mine. And a Rhyme, I'm sorry. What to go for, the Cryo or Atomizer?
I think I would go
I would think the Cryo.
For the Hawk? Is that what it was?
No, the Nightingale, Danny.
Oh, okay, Nightingale. Well, there's a lot of really awesome setups on the Nightingale. I mean, the energy machine guns are great on there. The Sparks and the Scourges are great. The new sonic sound weapons are great. I mean, even Punishers can be really good on that thing. So, I mean, that's a lot of... The Cryos are really good, too. The only thing I don't like about the Cryos is once you land... and you unload all your ammo, it takes a little while for those to load back up with ammo, so you're kind of out of ammo for a while.
Yeah.
But they're great for just landing and deleting something really quick. But you got to have those weapons leveled up high enough to delete something instantly, or you're gonna run out of...
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, because if you got a Nightingale and you come down, your ability's over and you come down. Right? You want something to where if somebody's going to rush in on you, a Scorpion's right there in your face, you know, or something, you want something that's going to do some quick damage to where it's going to kill that bot fast, because you ain't got 10 seconds to go back up in your ability again at that point.
Personally, I would love to have the new sonic weapons on that.
Yeah, I think that would work out pretty good.
Sonic weapons are great, atomizers are great, and if it fits your playing style, though, the Cryos are great. Some people swear by the Cryos on that thing, and it is a very good setup. It's just, it's not something that I personally would like, but I'm not saying it's bad. It's not my choice, because it's, I don't know, those rocket weapons just don't fit my playing style on most robots.
It don't mind either. I either run the electric weapons because of my lag, which I'm going to end that at midnight tonight when I get that other device. But, you know, I think for me, for my play style, the electric weapons work really good. I love them sonic weapons, Danny.
Yeah.
I mean, they are, I'm almost in love with them as much as the Scourge and the Calamities and stuff that I've always ran, you know. But, what in your opinion on the meta right now? What's your favorite weapon on the meta?
Oh man, it's gotta be the Atomizer, Quarker, and Nucleons, I would say. Just because they're easy to use, you're never out of ammo, and if you're close enough, you don't have to worry about the reload time. Like, say you just, or the cooldown time. Say you're like spraying all over the place, and you're like, crap, I gotta cool down, but a Scorpion teleports behind you. Forget about that cooldown, just turn around, and if you're like 20 meters away, it don't matter if you're spraying all over. You're still gonna blast the crap out of that guy, and then you have unlimited ammo at close range. So currently those are some of my favorites.
I would agree. I would hit it right on the money, just what you just said. Adrian said they want us to run range, but then release sonic weapons, LOL. I agree. They started coming out with the Webers and this, with, you know, 900 meter. The next thing you know, boom, 200 meter.
And they did say, hey, we're going to nerf the shotguns to get rid of all these too much close range gameplay. Yeah. And then what, like 2 months later, they bring out the closest range weapon ever made?
200 meter. I call it my Mike Tyson weapons.
Yeah, the Tysons.
The Tysons. That's what they remind you of. You know, you get in there in that phone booth, you know, fighting up close. Because I tell you, where you going to die with a Finra or any slower bot, big tank with the 200 meter weapons on there, if you see something in front of you, you're behind cover, and you're like, okay, he ain't paying attention to me, and he's 450 meters from you, and you start out there and you ain't got nothing in front of you to them, if they just turn and look at you for 5 seconds, they're probably going to kill you before you get that 200 meter range.
Yeah.
I've been messing up here lately on that. I've had to kind of throttle myself down, so I'm not Rambo so bad with him. And now I'm starting to, once I throttle myself down with him, I'm starting to do a lot better and getting good hit damage with him.
Well, guys, we've been going for about 2.5 hours here, and
Yep.
I think it's time to cut this one off. Thank you so much to the moderators for coming out here. Really cool to see Adrian popping into the stream and chatting with it. And all you guys, man, everybody that came here, I appreciate y'all so much. I know P.G.O does as well.
Much.
Thanks for War Machine and P.G.O for being guests on my stream tonight.
Anytime, Danny, you're welcome.
P.G.O had to run, so we continued on a little bit without him. So it's kind of cool to have War Machine around, because P.G.O.'s got some kids and stuff he's got to take care of, so he can't, you know, usually about an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending on what he's got going on with the kids. So,
yep.
It's just...
You're welcome, Adrian, and everybody else. Yeah, he's got a lot going on. P.G.O.'s busy with, you know, and I've raised 6 kids of my own, right? And
Good
I
Lord,
can tell
that's
you,
a lot of kids.
That is well, yeah, you know, 3 of them were my blood and 3 of them were half kids, you know, step kids. So,
yeah,
you know, I raised them as my own. Didn't favoritism or nothing, but I raised them. So 6 kids, and I can honestly tell you, even with 1 child is a job and a half. Imagine 6, but you know, he's got his hands cut out. Any father or mother nowadays has their hands cut out. They're quarantined in a house. You can't go to a park, or you can't just take your kid and grab them up and take them to, you know, some child play center. You know what I mean? In video game center or anything like that, because you know of the pandemic. So everybody's stuck in the house together, and it's, you know, that adds to it. So yeah, P.G.O. is very busy.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming out. You guys are all awesome, and you all make the stream so much fun. It's really cool to have a bunch of, you know, nice people, a bunch of pleasant people, and you know, everybody's just awesome. All right, catch y'all later. I'll probably be back tomorrow with a gameplay live stream, and then Sunday I'll be back with some gameplay live streaming as well. So,
yep.
And again, thank you to the mods, and thanks to everybody. All right, catch y'all later.
Thank you all. Good night.
Night.